everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Silent Podcast, where we're anything but silent. Today, we're covering Never Have I Ever, Season 1, Episodes 3 and 4. And I am your host, Sasha Joseph, and I'm joined by my co-host, Chappell. How are you?
Sasha, I'm good. I feel like it's been forever since we talked. Like, where have you been all my life? What's up?
Oh my God, living my best life. I was in Boston or in Martha's Vineyard, ideating, creating. I love it. Didn't realize I cared about the East Coast that much before I went to Martha's Vineyard. So, I'm excited. And I got all these women on to Never Have I Ever. So they have more fans for the show, and I think we have more fans of the podcast. They loved you. They really wanted to know more about you.
Hey.
It was great.
I love that. Tell them I said hi. How y'all doing?
Not this. Oh my God. But yeah, I just, before we get started, I just wanted to do like a spoiler alert that this is a spoiler filled like recap where we'll be only spoiling episodes 3 and 4, but we're going to be talking about episodes 3 and 4. So if you want to know what the preview or just what the show is like, we did a preview spoiler free on post show recap. So make sure you go check that out and then come back once you're in it. Because Chappell, I got a few DMs about this show after we released the podcast. Like, I don't know about you.
Yes, people were talking about it like, whoa, oh my gosh, where is the podcast? How can I watch it? I'm like, it's on YouTube, it's on Spotify. But Sasha, now we're on all platforms. Look at us.
Yes. Thank you, Geneva, the tech queen. But yes, we hope that, if you're watching us on YouTube, I feel like we're more fun if you look at us because our facial expressions. But, if you'd rather, walk with us, listen to us on Apple Music and Spotify at Silent Podcast. And one last, not plug, but fun thing is that we actually got some feedback, Chappell, this week. So I feel like we have to share it with everyone. And if you want to share your cringe high school stories or your thoughts about the show, whatever, say hi to us. I don't know. Send it at silentpodcast with an S, feedback@gmail.com. And it's also in the descriptions, and Chappell and I will tweet it out as well. So email us. So this week we have a story. I already read it. Chappell has not. So I can't wait to get your reactions. We got it from Mari. So for those of you that don't know Mari, she is the co-host of the Wrestling Rahap Up over on Rob Has a Podcast. And her Twitter is at Mari Talks 2 much. So go check her out. All right. So she says, hey, Sasha and Chappell, I have a cringe high school story for you. I was talking to this guy who had a locker right next to mine in high school. Ben and Devi. We're talking for a few months, hung out a bit, and then nothing serious happened. One day, he basically just stopped talking to me, which was clearly intentional since we saw each other every day by the lockers.
Okay.
I just thought that he was mad because I wouldn't put out. So I was like, okay, good riddance. Correct. After a few weeks of this, he finally speaks to me and says he saw that I started driving a guy to school and he asked if that was my man.
Well,
y'all, it was my brother.
Oh man. My guy, you played yourself, man.
But it gets better, everyone.
Oh gosh.
I told him that and he felt stupid and asked to start talking again. Thankfully, our girl Mari is a queen and said, no thanks. And he went on to get another girl pregnant a few months later. She said, bullet dodged. Love you guys.
Wow. I mean, Mari didn't have to diss him like that, man. I don't blame him. He saw somebody in his territory. He fell back. What's the guy to do?
He can't use his words?
I mean, no.
What?
No, not this time.
High school boys, bless their heart.
then again, I will say this on every podcast. I was one, and yes, bless our hearts. It's a struggle for us sometimes. We're still
Oh
trying to
my
find our
god.
words. And Mari had some other guy rolling around with it. I mean, who told you can have siblings? I wasn't prepared. We didn't talk about
Oh
that.
my
Like, why
god.
didn't you tell me? So, um, it is what it is. But Mari dodged a bullet. She got to, you know, move forward and become a mother whenever she was ready. So we're
Exactly.
happy
Mari,
for
you
her.
did not need to be a baby mama in high school. No, like no shade. It's just a lot of work. You don't
Yeah,
that's a lot. Like shout out to high school kids that do this. Would
yeah.
not recommend. Not that I have ever, but still.
Never would I
Even
ever.
at 30, yes, never have I
Yeah,
ever been a teen mom.
right.
Teen Mom was a great show for that, where I was just
Oh
like,
my gosh.
absolutely, this is never happening for me.
Yeah, they were concerned too. Like when it came out, they were like, "Oh my gosh, what if it's gonna make an
Glorify.
increase and glorify this?" It did not glorify it at all. Like these people had such like tumultuous relationships and
God.
like growing pains left and right. I don't know if you remember that one girl who was going to go to jail or go so she could go to the
Yeah,
Kesha concert.
Amber, I think.
Icon. No,
Yeah.
no, I don't think that was Amber, but I think
There
whatever.
was a
These
few. Oh my God, whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was a few of them, but yeah, like so Teen Mom was a mess in and of itself, but it happens as reality for a lot of people, but it's a
Yep.
lot easier if you wait. So, choose to wait if you're listening to this and you're trying to make those decisions in high school right now.
Live your life, man. Enjoy your body. Live your life. Okay. Just
Yeah.
period. Anyway.
Also, if you want to
Yes.
leave us a 5-star review on
Oh,
on
yeah.
Apple Podcast and a review on there, we'll read it. So if it's a 5-star review and it's nice and it's complimentary, we'll definitely read it and give you a shout out on the podcast. So if you don't want to share a cringe story necessarily, then give us 5 stars on Apple iTunes podcast or whatever it's called, and we will honor you accordingly. I guess I'll say.
Yes, I love that. Honor you.
Hmm.
Please help us out. We're, trying to
Yeah.
get off the ground here. With
Yes.
that, I feel like we're ready. We're in the high school mood. We're thinking about high school. So let's start with our own sex crazed teenager. Where we start episode 3, Chappelle. It's called Never Have I Ever Gotten Drunk with Popular Kids. So I'm already stressed for Davey because, like, Davey, please,
What are you
please.
doing?
And then we start with the TikTok. I know they don't call it that, but it's a TikTok, right? A TikTok dance
Yeah.
where they're doing a little dance. And I love their outfits. The UN. Is there a nicer word that we can call them? I don't know. But
Davies crew, I guess, is what
yes,
we can call them.
the
Like,
squad.
the squad. Yeah. But, I love this. This is a perfect opening to this episode. Like, it's a fit, it's a fit, it's a fit, it's fit. And they are dead set. All right. Eleanor is giving me everything I needed. I
Yes.
don't know what to tell you here. She's eating them up. It's
Also,
good.
Fab, her body really is snatched. Like we can finally see it. But they look really
Yes.
good. I like their red outfit the best, but also they like got dresses that were matching. Then they got outfit changes. Like it was a moment. It was an experience, I feel like.
Yeah, if you've never seen this episode, like this is a perfect clip to show somebody, to let you
Yeah.
know what this episode is all about. Because Davey's trying to be a normal teenage girl, making TikToks, thirst trapping for high school boys and things of that nature. And her mom is not impressed. Like she comes outside, she's like, "Why haven't you taken out the trash? Why is there a boy here? Why is he focused on Kamala?" Like there's too much going on, and Davey's just
Oh
trying
my
to be a
God.
normal kid, and that's pretty much this storyline, throughout the series. So I love this clip, and I love this opening.
Yeah, did you notice that she drags her out of the screen and then she comes back and Davey has a shirt on underneath?
Uh-huh.
And I was
Yeah.
like, why you did that? That's so mean.
Yes. And then of course, like I said, my girl Kamala's in the background.
Yes.
And Oliver, Eleanor's boyfriend, can't even record the TikTok good because Kamala's over there looking like Kamala. She's amazing. A
Yep.
goddess.
And she said, "Oh no, did I ruin your video?"
With my fit shape in my body, like my voluptuous curves, I'm so curvaceous. Like Kamala,
Oh
yes,
my
you are.
God.
You're amazing.
I know, own it. Because, and then I love Eleanor. She's like, I don't know, Oliver. Did Kamala's amazing body ruin it? Like, oh, poor Oliver, just get
Poor Oliver.
dragged. And then Nalini, just like every mom, every Indian mom at least, maybe. I don't know how your mom was. But my mom is, Nalini goes, okay, now it's time to be gone.
It's time for you to get out. It's been here too long. Why are y'all
You
here?
recorded your 7-minute video. It's time to go home. If you're not studying, you need to GTFO.
Yeah.
Because Devi needs to weed the garden.
She's like, look, you get 5 more minutes or whatever. And
Yeah.
it was just, yeah. I'm like, okay, I can hear this. I can hear my mom saying this to be like, okay, look, I get it. You're with your friends. I'm gonna be kind to you. 3 minutes. You know, like say your goodbyes.
Yes, I talked about this last time, and like a lot of my friends were laughing about it. But honestly, yeah, my mom literally was like, you need to move," and then would start just yelling about it. But I would get like an extra 5 minutes on my curfew, or like an extra like, okay, you can leave the place at the time of your curfew and then drive home, and I won't count the driving home time as like
Yes.
your, my curfew was 9 p.m. as a senior. So
Oh yes, same.
yes.
Same.
Really?
Oh, forever. Like I don't think
What?
it ever went up. Like I think it was like it happened in like at like elementary school or middle school, like early middle school, and then we just never debated it. Now whether or not I followed the rules
Wow.
or not was a different thing, but like it was always understood. Like, hey, it's 9 o'clock. What are you doing? I'm like, leaving. Like, I'm about to
Yes,
go.
very much that. Yeah, everyone knew. They're like, "Oh, Sasha's mom is calling. We gotta take her home." Thank God I had like friends that didn't make fun of me, thankfully.
Yeah.
And then Nalini says, "Yeah, you can have 3 minutes, but the boy has got to go."
Yeah, it's like Davy just wants, like, she needs to work in the garden, but she just wants to have privacy with her friends. And this is a foreign concept to me because we didn't even I didn't have a lock on my door. Like my mom was like,
Same.
no.
Nope.
Do you pay bills in this house? If you don't pay bills in this house, what are you locking the door for? Like whose door are you locking? It's not yours. You just stay here.
My mom was like, "What are you doing that you need to lock your door?"
Yeah.
And then I was like, "Privacy? What?
What is that? I'm
Because
sorry.
when we lived in India, we lived in a 1-bedroom. So my mom and I like shared the bed. So my mom was like, "Privacy, you have your own room. That's more than you had for the last 3 years. So what's going on, ma'am?" Yes.
Like
My
I'm
mom
getting
was like,
older.
"You
I
were
just want my
lucky."
space.
Nope.
Yeah.
Sorry
like,
about it.
Sorry, not in my house. Not in my house. One time I got in trouble and my mom took the door off the hinges.
Wait, you were that kid?
Yeah, she took the door
Oh
off the
my
hinges.
God. Did she make you
Yeah.
do it, or did she do it?
No, she did it. I came home and it was like gone. And also, like I'm looking around like she's gonna catch me. Like also, like there were wheels on my little like stand where I kept my TV. Pushed it right on out the room. like
Yes.
coming to the room to
Shamira
an
would
empty
do that.
space. No door.
My mom like didn't take the door again because like I was too scared. So she knew the phone was the lifeline. So she didn't give like 2 shits about the TV. She's like, whatever, it's TV. But the phone was like gone. And then I would be like, I'm charging the phone, hold on. And then I'd be outside texting. And then one time she came out and she's like, "What are you doing? Why are you texting? Did I not say the phone needs to be outside?" So I'd get into stupid trouble like that.
Yeah,
Oh
this
my
was
God.
relatable content here, man.
Yes.
This is relatable content.
Yeah, and then unfortunately she does post it and she only gets 2 likes, which is Eleanor's dad and his practice. I've been there.
Yeah. I mean, and now her friends are like, listen, you're dating Paxton. You told us that. Why hasn't he liked your photo? Like, is he ashamed of you? Are you his super sexy side piece? Is that what's happening here?
Also, like, how woke are these friends? Because again, these are not conversations my friends would ever have. But like, literally, they're so stressed for her. They're like, "Don't let this man use you. You're better than this." Da da da. Meanwhile, the reality is that Paxton and her are just friends. Paxton and Devi. But Fabiola says, "This is why I hate all men."
Yeah. Well, except Alex Gomez, the one she's dating, because she loves that little guy.
Oh, yeah. And they go to Wetzel's Peace together.
Right.
It's perfect. Oh my God. Which again, poor Fabiola. Like, I feel so sad for her. Because she's just not ready yet to come out. And that's okay.
Yeah.
And then and also I feel like this is great relationship advice for like not just teenage girls, but like everyone, right? Like, is he using you? Is he introducing you to his friends? Because guess what? If he's not, ladies, he's not that into you, or you are the side. And don't ever be the side.
I mean, I would say ever. I'm just saying, like, sometimes
Chappell.
you just need company. Like, you don't get too emotionally invested in being the side. But if
But
you
then you
can,
have to be honest
yeah, with
about
yourself.
what you
Yeah,
are.
like, yeah, with yourself. You have to be
And with your
true.
partner to
Yeah,
be
well,
like,
they know
hey,
you the
this is
side.
just
They know you the side. Look, you
oh
gotta
my God.
believe it. You gotta believe you the side because you know what the real is. You know, like, hey, we only go out when it's really, really late or like when
You
it's
don't go
really, really
out.
early. Yeah.
That's
Oh
the
yeah.
thing.
There is no out. Like there's a
Yeah.
lot of like, hey, why don't we come over here or why don't I come over there? But it's never like, hey, let's go be seen somewhere. You know, not doing that. Man, so many stories to tell, but
I was
I'm
like,
not doing that today.
oh my God, we're not gonna like embarrass ourselves again, but
No,
very
not
much that. Just
again.
make sure that if you're indulging in these things, that they are from different groups and they don't cross ever, people. Just
Yes,
don't be
keep it
dumb
separate.
and don't get caught.
Right.
But
It's
oh my
too easy to get
God.
caught when you're being dumb. Just put it like that, you know?
Let me just tell you that you don't want the karma on your life, okay? Because next thing you know, they're like, oh, I really care about you. So I'm going to show up to support you. And you're like,
Whoa,
oh,
don't
whoa,
do that.
whoa,
We did.
whoa.
When did we get there? I didn't ask for support.
Don't you love life before social media? Because like we could get away with these things.
Look, move in silence, okay? And then when social media happened, it just brought out the nosy people, me. And so like I
I
had
mean,
got to the point
obviously.
where, right, I had got to the point where like, oh no, if I'm gonna be the side, I need to know and I'm gonna find out because I'm finna see who's liking what. And not,
Yeah.
not that I'm gonna act on it, but I just
Or
need to
who's
know where I
tweeting
stand.
what?
Yes. Man, Instagram used to do the thing where like it would
Yes.
show you people's activity. When I found that out, there was no more Instagram. I wasn't liking nothing. I was like, what? Y'all not finna. And who is this? And what is it? No, 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 no. I'm not in that. Nothing to do with me.
Oh
So
my God.
blessed were the days that we could just move in silence.
Literally. And then Snapchat came out. And then I remember my mom being like, so is this for naked pictures? Like, why are you using this app? And I was like, oh my God, no.
No, definitely. Look, definitely not for that.
I was like, Mom,
Um,
please.
I
I
cannot
was in
relate.
college when it came out. So I was just like, thankfully I could have that conversation. I don't think in high school I wasn't even allowed to have a MySpace. Like my mom was like, what the hell? Absolutely not.
Yeah, no, I was able to move in this. I had a MySpace, had a Zanga, had a Black Planet. I had them all.
Zanga,
Like,
yes.
yes, I had them all. I had them all. When Facebook came out, I was like, oh my God, what is this? This is new, But I was knee deep into MySpace. Your top 8 mattered. Okay,
Yes.
it had to be
That's
in
how
order.
I actually found out a guy was cheating on me.
What?
Yes, because
Go
his
on.
top 8 was another girl. Like I think it was either right after me. Yeah, I think it was it was before me. So
Whoa,
yeah,
before
so I was
you.
just like, oh, this is interesting. Granted, I was stupid because I mean prefrontal cortex not developed. I lived in San Antonio at the time. He lived in Tulsa. What relationship was it? I
Right.
don't
This
know.
is
He was
not.
just hot, okay? And he's still hot. Like he's a stripper now. So, he's
Oh,
good
okay.
looking. Yes. Uh, but we just ran
Snatch
track
body.
together. That's why. But and then I remember seeing this girl, and then thankfully my cousin was dating her brother. So I was like, hey cousin, can you ask what's up? And she said, yeah, that's my boyfriend. And I was like, got it. Got it.
Gotcha. Not in your top 8 above me. That's sloppy moving. See,
Yeah, stupid.
I got slick. I had to put up. So God was number 1 on my top 8. I did
Not
follow the God page. Jesus and the Bible. So my top 3. So I didn't want nobody like, why am I not number 1 before God,
Real.
Jesus, and the Bible? How
Yes.
dare you? But then it was like family, and then like I tried to like fill it up with people who were non-negotiable. So it was like, why am I not in your top 8? It was like, well, these are people that are built in, because like I said, I've been moving in the shadows for a long time. I had to make sure.
Tips from Chappell and Sasha. Here's what you
if
do.
You start
everyone.
your MySpace. Yeah, this is really an advice podcast now,
right?
of like how to navigate social media.
We're bringing back a bro code. Whatever was it called? Girl code and guy
both
code.
Of them.
Yeah,
both of them.
We're bringing it back, obviously.
Basically.
But no, seriously, I remember these things. So like, thank God we were high schoolers before we had to post thirst traps. Because God. And then we get a like nice little Mohan flashback because Devi's about to go work the garden, which is a very I don't know if like it's an Indian thing, but like every Indian I know like talks about gardening and they're amazing like plants. Mine die. I got one tomato and that was it. Like it's not happening here. But anyway, so Devi is like can't clean it because she's like, this one tomato, my dad like gave me this amazing soliloquy about how it's their connection to life. So, or California. So
Mohan has been Davy's guy her whole life. You can tell. Like
yes.
this flashback is her like maybe 5 years old, learning how to garden from him. So that just shows the magnitude of his death and the way it happened so suddenly right in front of her. Like it shows why she's so traumatized. Like why she literally, you know, was paralyzed for you know, from the trauma of it. So this is like a necessary flashback, but it's still sad to see kind of Davy dealing with this.
Yeah, you just want to hug her because, you know, like as a kid, she's just struggling. But anyway, she just lets it go. Apparently, no, like she doesn't get in trouble. So fine. Maybe because her mom said that she's too busy running her dermatology practice. So she maybe didn't notice. And then we're at school. Here we go. Mr. Shapiro being Mr. Shapiro again. Big smiles at Paxton, but he's like, no. And just looks away. And I just have to know, when did Trent get in this class?
Yeah, like Paxton's in the class because he was held back, right? Is Trent younger?
That's what.
Yeah, what's happening here?
Because Trent makes a few jokes, right, later on, being like, well, if you weren't so dumb. So I'm assuming Trent is Davy's age, like a year younger.
Yeah, or maybe they're just equally dumb. Like as a dumb person, I can acknowledge when other people are dumb. Like I'm like, we are dumb. You know, like look at us in this class, dumb together.
True. I have done that with math. Yes.
Yes.
God, I'm so bad at math. Oh my God. It's like embarrassing how bad I am.
Same. I will not count in front of people. I just won't. It's debilitating.
I Google percentages. Like it's real.
Same.
Yeah. On my first date, why would I share that with my husband, who's a freaking engineer? But I did. And then we were having another deep conversation. And he's like, he's a big history buff. So he was like, oh, the Vietnam War. Do you know what that is? And I was like,
whew.
And I was like, no, I'm not dumb. I just like can't do math.
I just don't know math.
Yeah.
Like, that's all.
To this day, I will make fun of him and be like, hey, do you know what the Vietnam War? And he's like, listen, who says they Google percentages? So I was like, that's so mean.
It's not a fair question. Like people are dumb at math, and that's okay. We are special people. People love us. We're the good people are dumb at math. I'm just saying. But
Can I read people?
Right. Exactly.
I will tell you their whole novel just by one conversation with them.
Yeah, like we know people, and y'all are too busy counting. So blah.
Thank you.
But speaking of Vietnam, the class assignment here is focused on World War II.
Yeah.
Which Mr. Shapiro being himself again. So the assignment is let's create an app that would be useful in World War II. This is an insane assignment just in general. Like, what are you talking about? What kind of app could you use in something like this?
Yeah, apps that mitigate the what?
Yeah.
I cannot pronounce the word great. Anyways, that mitigate the bad things of war. Maybe I am dumb. And
no, it's the atrocities. Yeah,
the atrocities of war. Not me.
Yeah.
My Indian accent came out and I could not pronounce it. No, I
was
can't.
watching you. I was like, oh yeah, that was fun. Yeah, they heard it. The people heard it.
I was like atrocities, but oh my God. And then the opening line is, what if Anne Frank had an iPhone? What is wrong with this dude,
man? What is this man doing? Like, what? God. Why would that be? Like, you don't think that would be the first thing they snatched out of her hands?
I will say for Holocaust Remembrance Day, an organization, I think this was around the time that this came out. I should have done the math. But anyway.
You do math?
No, I can do like 2 years. But anyway, 2 years ago, I think there was an Instagram account that started, and it was a teenage girl that came out with, maybe this was not the best thing to Google. Anyway, so there was they started an Instagram account for a girl that her name was Ava, I believe. And what would it look like if you had iPhones and you could document what's going on? And like, it was interesting to watch. Like, they had actors act out everything, even like the Gestapo taking Jews away. So I think that it did come out from that Instagram account. So it was a thing that like went viral in Jewish spaces, but it also like got a lot of criticism because people were like, Nazis would have just found you and
Yeah.
taken it.
You
But
have
I
a
will say,
tracking
like, the
device
Instagram
with you.
account I believe still exists. It's like
Oh,
Ava something. I can't remember.
okay. I
Yeah, she like
guess.
had Instagram. Uh, it was weird. It was very
Yeah.
weird. Yeah,
It's
Ava
yeah.
at Ava.stories. Yes, that's what it was called.
It's a weird assignment. I'm not gonna lie to
Mhm.
you because it's again, like you said, like people would just first of all, it's a tracking device. It's a phone. So I mean,
Yes.
they're gonna find you and they're gonna take it and then that's it. So I mean, it sounds interesting, but not the best assignment. But this is of course something that Mr. Shapiro would like sink his teeth into, right? Because he's thinking outside the box and he's woke and all that good stuff. But the interesting part for me here is that this is when they start to group up for the assignment, and Paxton
Yes.
asked Davy to be in a group with him and Trent. And listen, she thinks he's making a move.
Oh my God. Bless her heart. Because again, lady, and I know it's not just ladies. I know it's not. But like still, people, if a dumb
If a man.
jock, asks you to be a part of the group, and not even that, Paxton specifically says Davy is good at things and she's a guaranteed A, you do not be part of that group. You leave
Yeah.
that group.
Yeah. I mean, you're gonna do all the work here. You're gonna do all the work here.
Yes.
And I've been in groups where I'm very much laid back about school. I always have been. Like if I look around and tell like, okay, I have to be the one to take point on this one, I'll do it. I'm like, whatever. I would because I hate a group assignment. I hate it so much. And
Yeah, me
so
too. It's
so like
stupid.
I'll just handle it, I'll send y'all whatever, and then we can move on. But Davy doesn't want to be that person. Whereas Fabiola is fine being that person. She's like, do y'all want me to do this? Like, do y'all want me to do
Yeah,
this assignment? Because she ends up in a group
exactly.
with Ben and Eve, the hot
And
chick.
Eleanor, a mess.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Ben didn't even want to be part of the group. He said the three of them can be a group. I just want to work alone because it would be better for me. But of course, Mr. Shapiro does not allow that.
No, it's the four of them,
Oh, very
and
sad.
this is where we get Eve's name, because last time we saw her, she was
Yes,
just the hot chick on the stairwell, but now
exactly.
she's Eve, and she's kind of making eyes at Fabiola, or at least Fabiola is making eyes at her. We can't really tell because Fabiola is panicking every time she really looks at her.
Exactly. And I did look up the Ava stories, and
Mhm.
funny enough, I think the first episode of Never Have I Ever and this like came out around the same time. So maybe
Mm.
like a year later, sorry, 2020 was the first time Never Have I Ever came out. So they must have used that as a inspiration. Anyway, just wanted to share that. Okay, and then we get to Steve again. Steve is back. He's a
Mhm.
mess, Chappelle. He can't eat Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah.
So
Look,
sad.
can you blame him? Look at him. See,
No.
so he says like, "Hey, Kamala, please, what are you doing? Like, we're good together, baby." And she says, "Yeah, I think about you too." That would have been it for me. Like, you can't tell me you think about me and then be like, "Okay, bye." Like, no, 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 Kamala, please don't go, don't go. So I felt for
Someone
him in
clip
this moment.
this. This is how
Yeah,
Chappelle like will ask someone back.
for Kamala, like, listen. I'm moving mountains, okay? I don't
Oh my
blame him. Like,
god.
listen, Steve, sometimes you gotta cry. Like,
Period.
you gotta cry.
Oh my god. And then even Kamala says, I saw a couple riding a tandem bike. And it reminded me of you, Steve, because you can't ride a bike. They're down bad.
Yeah. But ultimately she has to make this decision because she's like, look, I have a choice. Now, Steve is kind of he's teetering on like the line of like, all right,
Yes.
Steve, don't get carried away. Cause he's saying like, you're an independent woman and you can make your own decisions and like forget culture and tradition. Like, hold on. Things matter to people. And if that's something that matters to Kamala, then that's not a good argument for you, Steve. Like, you
And
cannot
Steve's
say like,
Asian, right? So
you're right.
Steve should know.
He has his own cultures and traditions that I'm sure
Yeah.
he wouldn't throw away just because he likes a girl or something like that. So so Kamala's like, no, I have a choice. Like, I could choose being with you or betraying my family and having a life of shame. And so she's like, look, I'm gonna pick my family, over you this time, just for that reason alone. And he's
Yeah.
devastated.
Which is unfortunately so sad for Kamala because, like, I get it. Like, I don't know that I could go against my family like that, especially if they were as strong. Like, I think, lucky enough that my mom, since high school, kind of had a taste of like, right, she's not gonna be dating maybe Jewish men, and that will be fine. Or maybe even Indian men. No, I don't think my mom gave two shits about Indian. She was just like, they need to be Jewish. I married someone that's not. So, it's been like since I was 16, my mom was prepped for it. Although my first kiss was Jewish, and that's the only Jewish person I've ever.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, sorry. So it's really funny because maybe I started right. So, but I do understand this like back and forth, unfortunately, where you're like, I don't want to, hurt and let down my family, but also like maybe I don't have a choice right now, even though she does. Like, she has an amazing job, amazing life. Like, she could walk anywhere and get whoever.
She does. And we see that throughout the series. No spoilers, but Kamala is she's lovable. People love her and will crash their bikes into trash cans and all kinds of things to just get a glimpse of her. So yeah, she can have whatever she wants.
The vibe, the mist. I love it. And then, so Steve has to go to 21 Pilots alone, and it's very sad because he leaves her with, I can't believe someone as brave as you would be okay with this. Peace.
Right. Drop the mic.
Steve
out.
Oh my God. And then we're now at the group project, Chappell. I don't know if you've ever been in this situation, but Trent's mom shows up with the microaggressions, of course, and she says, "Hi, Devi. Do you know my eyebrow lady?" So Devi, is kind. She's responding back, saying, "What's her name?" This woman don't know her name.
She's Pragumshamala?
Yeah,
like, ma'am, you just made that up. You just put
5 names together and then like decided, yes, that's long enough. I think that is going to be the name.
This sounds Indian. I'm gonna say it. Excuse me?
And ma'am. She's so gross. Like, poor Devi. Like, she does not deserve this microaggression for a boy.
Right. And not only is she gross in this moment, Trent's mom, but she's also she's flirting with Paxton very like openly, like, right, like she's like, "Ooh, I bet you could pick me up and throw me." Ma'am.
Have you ever been in this situation with like a mom?
Yes. But not when I was a child. Like,
yeah, okay.
Yeah, as I got older,
that makes me feel better.
No, like when I got to college, it was just like, "Oh, he's so handsome. I bet he has a lot of girlfriends." Da, 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 da. And then it was like, "Oh, well, like, what are you doing later?" And I was like, "Wait a minute, hold on, what's happening here?" So like by the time I leave her house, I'm like, "What? That was weird," but everything else is fine.
Would you ever like? Has there ever been like a MILF? Where you're like, oh. Okay, at least Chappell was not a child, so it's okay.
I definitely had a type.
Oh my God.
Older. They like to take care
older
of
women.
And I like to be taken care of.
Any older women that love podcasters, Chappell's ready for you. Okay.
I'll entertain the conversation at the very least.
Ooh, send us some feedback. It can be anonymous. I'll keep it anonymous if you would like. silentpodcastsfeedback@gmail.com. I'll keep it anonymous. We'll do a relationship hour. I don't care.
Here we go.
I know this is. I feel like I'm being an annoying married person, but like, I need some fun. We're in COVID.
No, have your fun.
Yeah, and then so she also says, "Do you need me to go to prom with you?"
This is inappropriate.
How did Trent not drag? Because
he probably sick of his mom. She probably does this all the time. Like, I wonder how long her and him and Paxton have been friends. Because he says, "I've been going to prom since I was in the 7th grade." So he's not
taking Paxton. I mean, listen, he is 30, everyone. So the math does add up. Like, the actor, Darren, whatever his name is 30. Jaren, sorry, no. Whatever, is 30. So it does. No, it's Darren is his name. Jaren is Ben's name. Yeah. So it does add up math-wise, but like, please, that's weird as hell. Why are you going to prom? I didn't even get asked. I was dating a guy that was a senior, and he didn't even take me to senior prom. He was like, "I want to go with my friends."
I went to prom with 2 girls.
No, what do you mean?
We have a prom picture together, and it's the 3 of us. And I remember asking the class, I turned around and I said, "Hey, do y'all want to come to prom with me?" And they said, "Okay." And I said, "Okay, cool."
Were they in a relationship? And you were
I
the
hope.
beard?
I don't know. No, I don't think so. Like, I think they're both like happily married now, but
Oh my
not
God.
together. But I
That
just
sounds
asked because I just asked because I was like, I'm generally inoffensive. Like the worst that can happen is one of them will say yes and one will say no, or both of them will say no, and then I'm in the same spot. So I was like, well, let's ask, and they both were kind of just like, okay, that's fine. That sounds like fun. So it wasn't like romantic, but it
well,
was
I would
definitely like,
hope not. I mean,
but it
no,
was
if
definitely
you're into that, you're into that, but
I mean, but like in high school, it's like if you're into that in high school, you're able to pull that one off. Kudos. But for me, I was
you
more
did.
like, yeah. Well, for me, I was more like, like this is a flex. Like look at me in senior year with my 2 prom dates. And so yeah, if we get 10 5-star reviews, I will post a picture of me and my prom
Please.
dates.
Yes.
Yeah.
10 more because we're at 7. So
Oh yeah, 10 more,
yeah.
17, and I
So
will post a
if we get to
picture.
17, oh my God, I can't wait. I'm
Yeah.
gonna like tweet that. So hopefully we will get that.
Gotcha.
That's so funny. Oh my God. No, I went to prom with one boy. He definitely had already cheated on me by then, which I didn't know about. I want to make that clear twice. One
Ooh,
time at a
almost.
track meet, it was great.
Uh-huh. What?
Yeah, I know. And like
Listen.
the girl was like staring at me the whole time, and I was like, why is she looking at me? Turns out everyone knew but me. Stupid idiots.
Wow.
Yep.
I almost
Yep.
got in a fight at prom.
Why?
Yeah. Okay, so this girl from class told her boyfriend that I had said something rude to her, which I
Oh,
did,
not
but because
this.
she was being stupid in class, and so I said something, and I forgot about it. Like this was months ago, like whatever. But her boyfriend was like in college or something. They were married, very
Oh
young
God.
married couple, and you know how that goes, grooming and all that stuff. I don't know their business, but at the time they were married,
Yeah.
at least she claimed to be, right? Like that's probably a high school thing too. Like, oh, we're
Mhm.
married. Well, he showed up and he did not go to our school, but he like approached me kind of like man to man. Like, I heard you were talking about my girl. The problem was he might have been 5'7", and I've been like roughly 6'1" for a number of years. And so I turned around and was like, do you want to do this or not? Like,
Oh my
like
God.
if
Not
you think
Chappelle
going to
fighting at
if
prom.
you think going to prom with 2 women was two girls was a flex, like imagine now I have to beat you up in front of them too at prom.
Oh
So
my
it was broken up, but it definitely happened, and it was interesting. It was definitely interesting because I was like,
Oh my
"Why
God.
would you do this, sir?" I don't even remember the conversation he was talking about. I don't, but I was just like, "Well, if you want smoke, I got it." So
God, my graduating class was 1,066. So like we didn't even
mm.
know enough people for that, thankfully. I mean, my boyfriend did, but not me, apparently.
He knew too
No,
many people.
yeah, he broke up with me like the week before my 18th birthday.
What is
Oh,
wrong with him?
yeah. And then I found out later, well, his sister told me that just so you know, this is what happened. And this is why he broke up with you. She's a G. We still like randomly will chat. But yeah,
It.
she outed him. Idiot. Anyway, and then they're now back. They're talking about the app. Now that creepy mom's left. And Trent says, okay, we're gonna have an app that turns your phone into a gun. Well, how?
That's it. That's all they got. It just does. It's an app. You press the button, the app does it. What else does he need to talk
Transformers,
about?
baby. That's how.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then
Davy's
this is
confused by
where
this.
yes, and Davy says, "Oh, okay, let's keep thinking about it." And then Paxton says, "Yeah, let's see what you got, Lil D."
And that makes Davy's heart smile because now she feels like she's got a nickname, so now she's in there. Yeah,
Yes.
like I don't like we know they're not dating. Like he's been very clear about that, but like she's like, okay, at least we're friends because now I'm Lil D. Okay, Lil D, and
I got it in.
that's an interesting nickname. Sasha, have you ever been nicknamed by like a friend boy?
Yes, meant.
Yes.
Yeah, I was in Poland during my senior year. It was like a Holocaust remembrance trip that I did with my youth group. And anyway, while I was gone, I was also on the Powder Puff team.
Powder Puff. Mm-hmm.
Powder Puff, yeah. So yeah, my guy friends decided to. They did not ask me. I was in another country, and they decided my number and my nickname for me. Mm-hmm. And I was Little India. I was like, really?
Not Little India.
Please. Yes. And
Little India. I did Little India.
Yeah, I think I still have the shirt too, but
Yes.
yeah. I know the number was my freaking birthday. It wasn't even cool.
Yeah. No,
But I
that's
was
wild.
so mad. And they were like, we tried to talk to you in Poland, but this is before like social media was a thing.
Mhm.
Wi-Fi was maybe not so great. So yeah, I came back and everyone was like, hey, here's your shirt. And I was like, a shirt? What? So
Yeah.
yes, I have. And I will say that I did have a crush on this boy that did this. So
So you said, okay, it's fine. I like this. I'm Little India.
stupid again.
That was your MySpace name, Little India.
I think it was,
Oh
or
my gosh.
Trickstar or some stupid thing.
Oh no.
I just thought I
That
was so cool because that boy.
we've
Anyway,
we've come
boys
so
are
far. We've
yeah.
come so
Oh
far.
God. Now I'm just fun
Yeah.
size apparently. Uh,
Yeah.
and then the boys are talking about Zoe's doing jumping jacks. As teenage boys do look at. They're not
Mhm.
looking at her form, I will say.
Yeah.
Or maybe not her form of jumping jacks, but they're looking at her human body form.
Right. They're easily distracted. So Davy thinks for like a split second, like, oh, she's in there as a friend, but then they get distracted by some boobs. And so it doesn't
Yeah.
last long at all.
Unfortunately. And then we get a small little moment of Fab with her mom where they're trying to get their nails done. Her mom is like, let's do it really girly. Fab is like, I need some robots or maybe some chickens.
Computers, some chickens. Yeah. Fabiola this is not her thing, but her mom is trying to bond with her.
Yeah.
Her mom is like, what's going on here? Like we're not that close. And so let's do something that we can, do together.
Yeah.
And, Fabiola's opening up to her mom and complaining about Ben. And this is kind of where her mom is like, oh, do you have a crush on this person? Do you on Ben? Is this Ben guy? Sounds like you're annoyed by him, so you must like him,
Because,
that.
we're in elementary school again.
Mhm. I mean, it's kind of true in high school too. I mean, like
It's
people are
annoying
like,
because yes, that is
yeah,
freaking true.
exactly.
It was
But
very much me. I was very mean to boys I liked. Stupid.
yeah, I let girls that I like be mean to me, so I get it.
Yeah, I was evil. But then I would be like, because I like you and I don't know how to flirt. I'm a nerd.
Right. Look, that kind of thing, like that worked for me. Like I'm like the type of person where you're like, oh, is that why you're doing that? Okay, continue. Like,
Oh my God. Yeah, this one guy he became my boyfriend the same way that cheated on me. But yeah, he had pink lemonade like like someone poured it or something on him. So I called him that and I got our whole lunch table to do that.
mhm.
And then his sister, same sister that I became friends with later, but threatened to beat me up. So I was like, oh, but I like him.
You were so ratchet back then. I love it.
Yeah. But anyway, so it's really funny because again, like let's be in healthier relationships where you should be nice to people you like. But they probably won't like you back even then. And so we know that Fab ends up sharing, I do have a boyfriend. His name is Alex Gomez. And then mom says boyfriends is what high school is all about.
Yep. It's really nailing this home that like she really wants Fabiola to be happy and in a relationship with the boy specifically. And she's just happy that Fab has found someone that she liked. She looks like she's had like it's like a sigh of relief even.
Yes.
I don't and this is a tough moment for Fabiola because she's like, how do I tell my mom this? How do I say the words? Because she's almost there. Like I like someone.
Yes.
You're
And
knocking
she
on the door,
almost
but that's not it.
said it and then was like, no, not here, not right now.
Right.
And also like, let's not be heteronormative people. Let's start using the word they instead of he or she, even whatever. Like, let your kids decide and come to you. I feel like, they're Gen Z parents. They should know it's time.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the end of it where her mom is like, it's not a robot, right? A real boy, please.
Right.
Very
Gears
Pinocchio.
Brosnan makes his first appearance here. Gears is Fabiola's like sidekick almost. It's her little robot, and so her mom has reason to believe that Fabiola could potentially be dating a robot, and so she's just happy that this is a person.
I mean, you can program a robot the way you would like. So isn't that like the perfect partner, actually?
No, no. But I mean, points are made. Like if you just want company, then that'll get you the company. Yeah, you can be a side piece on your spare time, but then you're home, you at least have like a companion.
Oh my God.
So, yeah, maybe 10 or 20 years from now, people will start to incorporate that in their life, but
There's
not too
that
soon.
robot, right? What's her name? Well, anyway, she got like pretty famous. I mean, she looked real.
She was a baddie. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I hope she's gone.
Yeah, and not
Yeah.
you calling the robot a baddie.
Well, yeah, there's a baddie, but she's scary, and
Oh
so I
God,
don't want no
yes,
parts of that. Yeah.
100%. Oh my God. And then we get now we're back to Davy's house. It's nighttime. This is why I feel like Kirsten should have been here because Kamala and Davy are, trying to find a movie to watch on Netflix. Be relatable. And Kamala says, want to watch a movie that's 7 hours long? A Bollywood movie, which is like, come on. It's like maybe 4 hours is the longest Bollywood movie like I've seen, but like 7, shut up. And and then Davy goes, no, we're watching Riverdale. Let's buckle up for some steamy teen romance.
Listen, I will not watch Riverdale. I'm sorry.
Ooh,
this
tea.
show. This show is insanity. Like, this is insane. There's like a gargoyle king and all kinds of like it's wild. I was like, I thought this was a drama or something like that. No, but it's science fiction. It's a musical at times. I just can't do it. I can't do it. No, this is me. I'm out here. This is where you lose me. So yeah, luckily Kirsten McInnes and Frail Mary Krakowski are doing the work and watching this and covering it on their podcast. But we cannot get into all of the ins and outs of Riverdale because we just do not have the time.
Absolutely not. I will. Yeah, as someone that owned comics from the 60s, it's very frustrating to see what Riverdale has become, or what it used to be. And even my mom was like, what the hell are we watching? And I was like, oh, turn it off. This is not for us. And then, Kamala has all the right questions. Why are teenagers having showers together? Why are their parents okay with this? And then Davy's like, pause. I don't care about all this. What does it mean when a guy picks you for a group project?
Yeah. Like, is he hollering at you? What's going on here? But Kamala can't even focus on Davy's issue because she's like, listen, I got this whole thing with Steve in the back of my head. Like, and so you're asking me for relationship advice, but unfortunately, Davy, I've never been in one of those. I'm sorry. I'm waiting for my arranged marriage. So please ask someone else.
It's like, this is like 101, right? Of like, how tell me you're in a hidden relationship without telling me you're in a hidden relationship. Like, what is wrong with you? Also, unfortunately, this happens a lot where like brown girls or like South Asian girls will like be like on their Instagram and be like, oh, no relationship, friends. And then all of a sudden they're engaged. And it'll say like 2015 to forever. And you're like, it's 2021.
Right.
So you had this man this whole time?
Look, women are toxic. Women are toxic. They will pop
society
up
is toxic. Okay.
Yeah. Them too. Yeah, but, but no, I didn't see a lot of it because listen. You pop up in a relationship on me, I will unfollow you. You gotta go.
Chappell.
If you pop up pregnant, pop up in a relationship, I will not follow you on Instagram.
Is it because you're thirst following people?
No, but I also don't want to see your happy relationship paraded in front of me. Like,
that way you don't follow me. No, I'm just kidding. He does.
I mean, no, I'm kidding. We definitely follow each other in friends on Facebook and all that good stuff. But no, I mean, like, if we are like, if I don't know you, or like it was just like a thirst, it might have been a thirst follow. Like, why am I following you at this point?
I mean,
like,
very much me.
Yeah, we're not friends, so you can go. It's fine.
It's like, now I can't DM you. Now I can't respond to your story. I can't put a haha. What's going on your story anymore? So what's the point?
Right. I don't want your guy like, oh gosh, what are you doing in their DMs? Yeah, what are you doing? Are you liking all these pictures? Like, I don't want none of that. I'm too old for that now. Back in the day, I'm like that kind of stuff. Like, oh yeah, I was in there. It was me.
It was a thrill.
Yeah, but now it's like, hey, I'm over it. Yes, Sasha, we've come a long way. We've come a long way.
Thank you, God, for pulling us here. And then Devi unfortunately just has no one else to ask, so she runs out. And then it's coyote stare down time because Devi's out in her dad's garden, and there's a coyote walking toward her, and she says, "Dad, is that you?"
Oh, okay. Yeah, when you're in grief and you miss someone, you connect with their spirit and however you want to. And I think in this moment, Devi sees the coyote and she's like, look, I feel a connection here. This is Dad. And like it happens to a lot of people. It is not
Yeah.
crazy or out of the ordinary, but Davy's just not ready. Like a coyote just appeared in her backyard, and it seems to. And it, I think it's like got the tomato, so it's like,
Yeah.
hey, it's doing Mohan things. Is this Mohan? Possibly. I think this is. And so Davy just has a moment where she's like, life might be okay. I see my dad here.
Which is unfortunate again. But yeah, also people have extraordinary powers and sometimes they're not ready to receive them right then. So I believe in that stuff too. And then before we get to the project, Chappelle, let's just quickly wrap up this coyote moment with Dr. Ryan.
Yeah, so she goes to therapy, which again, Davy definitely needs.
Yes.
And she tries to explain to Dr. Ryan, like, hey, by the way, Doc, see my dad. He's a coyote. Yep.
And yeah, and then and then Dr. Ryan starts, psychoanalyzing, starts talking about it, and then Dr. Ryan says all of this stuff, and Davy goes, are you gonna be weird about this? Because then we don't have to talk about it. And then Davy's like, because it was his eyes. It made me feel like it was my dad. And then, we appreciate Dr. Ryan because she's like, okay, let's play along. Let's talk through this. Because she says, sometimes people see butterflies or other things. So you might see your dad in other places. And she says, let's talk. But have you, tried to talk to the coyote? Maybe you should tell them how you feel.
Now, this advice here, this is bad advice.
Thank you.
This is bad advice. That is a wild animal. And you're like, have you spoken to it? Dr. Ryan, what's happening here? What are you doing?
Dr. Ryan got caught up with Davy's crazy is what happened because my God, she's so smart, right? Like advice always on point.
This is
at least say from a distance or like, why don't you whisper it?
Or mentally, like have like, try to form a but do not approach said coyote. Davy's already in a bad place. She just asked Dr. Ryan if she would buy her a thong. Like she says, like, and then like, look, I need a simple lace red thong with rhinestone phrase on it that says "do me." So like, this is an unstable child, okay?
And when Dr. Ryan says no, and she says, "Fine, I'll just cut the cheeks out of my underwear." Not how it works, but she's
you can't
a smart
tell that person.
Kid. Yeah,
you can't tell that person to go talk to a coyote because she's gonna do it.
Yep. And then she also asked for some alcohol for some other reasons, which we'll get to now. But I feel like we needed to wrap up this like coyote moment.
Yeah.
And then we're back to the projects, everyone. Davy has come up with the project. Did they come up with it together? I'm not entirely sure. But
this is Davy doing all the work. This is definitely Davy doing everything.
Yes. So they have a project called Bunker, where the point is, it's like an app that'll like set you up with the closest like bomb shelter near you during the Blitzkrieg, I think in Britain or in the UK. So that's kind of the point of it. You can see Davy like is showing off her PowerPoint. He's like, hey, here's all my work, And then all this stuff, right? And then everyone, Pax and Trent, are like, wow, this is amazing. Then Paxton has to come up with the slogan, which is 10% of their grade. And that is, and our friend just comes up with the whole app name, like use as their slogan.
Like he doesn't try at all. Like David could have just did all this work. And this is why, and she doesn't even realize it, but this is why they picked her.
Yes.
They picked her because she was the smart girl who could do the work. Because she likes Paxton, so we know that she's in. We're quote unquote friends. So as a friend, we're gonna work together on this one. So we don't love this, but I was fascinated with her nemesis Ben and his app.
Yes.
Did you see the brainstorming when they were creating their app? Did you see what they were coming up with?
I wrote it.
Right. So the first one was Juber. I think that was the one that they had landed on because it was supposed to be, it sends a car to round up all the Jewish people during the Holocaust so they can like get away or potentially also just round them up and so that they can be captured. So not a great app. They also had Shazam for sirens, I guess. So you could like listen to the siren and indicate, I guess, if it was good or bad. I don't know. Tinder for wood.
So like literal Tinder.
Right. And then Twiddler. And I'm not quite sure what Twitler does, but I am disgusted. Why did y'all write this on the board?
Yeah, and why is Ben, the Jewish kid, writing this? Because it's all his ideas. What is all wrong with him? This is
Yeah.
where it's like you have a sickness for the holiday. Like, it's like trauma stays with you, right? And I think they've done a lot of studies, especially like with Ashkenazi Jews in the Holocaust, where it's still in their DNA, like the trauma. So I get it that you have some trauma in you, but this is royally stupid. Shazam for Sirens, I will say, is interesting. Just like Bunker, I feel like it's literally the same idea. And they could be, they should partner up together, and Google maybe will buy them. But besides that, I mean, this assignment is stupid. So also that, because apps are literally built to track you at all times. And Eleanor rightfully drags Ben and says, so an app to round up Jewish people, and he calls them all stupid and says they don't get it. And Eve says, no, actually, I'm Jewish. So
yeah, well, he says the rest of them are anti-Semitic, so there's that. Which
stop, Jews, stop using that for everything, please. Don't just stop it. And then he says, yeah, you two are useless without your leader.
Yeah, he's giving Devi her props in his own way, but also completely bashing her friends. And so he just thinks, I'm just gonna do the project on my own, and y'all will get whatever grade that I get, and I'll just give it to you.
Yeah, which I would be like, screw you, annoying. Like, fine, do it. And then they also Ben calls Devi a nerd, and then they say, well, would a nerd be sleeping with Paxton? Why are they putting our whole business out there like that again?
Yes. I believe Eleanor says they are plundering each other's bodies on the rig. Okay. Now, that is a crazy euphemism. Like that, plundering each other's bodies.
While talking about World War II.
Yeah.
Maybe not the best. Maybe.
It's a lot.
Be dramatic like she is. And then Eve invites Fab to a queer fundraiser, but Fab gets very stressed out. Why would you invite me and not everyone else? Why just me?
Eve's like, the rest of them suck. Like everybody else here was a lot, and you just seem kind of normal. And I think she's attracted to her a little bit. So she's like, hey, would you like to come to this? Fabiola completely freaks out and just kind of like, hey, you got the wrong idea about me. Okay, bye. And just takes off. So it's not great here. Fabiola's still struggling with this. But we see Eve, at least, looks like she's taking a liking to her, even as a friend. We just hope that Fabiola could get her head wrapped around this space that she's in right now.
Yeah, she's not ready for Eve yet. Like, she's not, and it's okay. And then the last thing, with the end of the project is Trent is having a party. So, and Devi gets very excited. A no parent party? What? How exciting! So Devi believes she's invited because everyone Trent knows will be there, and Trent knows Devi, so she invites herself. Which again, I cannot believe that this because. The way she gets to the party is Devi tells her mom, hey, my project's still not done. Nalini's stressed. Are you partnered with stupid people? Which is definitely things my mom has remote in the vicinity of saying, because she was like, oh, America, why this education system? If I would have known how bad, I shouldn't have taken my child out of Indian schooling. Well, yeah, probably. Yeah. And then she makes her take candy to the parents' house.
Yeah, and she says this is cultural. Like they basically say, like Devi says, nobody in America does this. Sasha, is this something you're familiar with? Just like not a gift, but candy specifically, because this is a theme throughout both seasons. We see, people show up with a Ferrero Rocher pyramid at some point. So is this a thing that you do? Or is this like completely out of your realm?
Yeah, I was like, I don't do it. My mom definitely, like when we visit India, there's a whole bag of gifts. Just that we have to check in just for, and it's not even gifts. It's like people specific gifts, like, oh, my grandma needs this, whatever. Like, and then it's like, oh, I'm not sure. I might see someone, so I need to have some extra gifts on the side. So yeah, gotcha. Ferrero Rocher is definitely one of those because it's a fancier candy. But like, it could be anything, like clothes. Like my mom goes when Dillard's and Macy's have sales and will buy everything. For just like she has like an India closet in her house that you go in there, and then there's like everything that she's bought, like will go to India with her. Like our dentist in India gets stuff. And then it's like a quid pro quo because he's like, you always think of me. And we get his kid like some, like coloring books. So he does our dental work for free. It's the
Okay.
moment. So
We like that.
it's
Yeah,
very
we
much,
like that.
I will say we're not allowed to go to anyone's house without bringing something. That is correct. Like you do
That
not
makes
show
sense.
up just yourself. Like that's disrespectful. And then she also borrows Kamala's thigh-high boots for a study session.
Yeah. This is not a good excuse. This is just Devi being Devi. This is like her trying to want the thong. Very, very Manny Santos from like Degrassi.
Yeah.
So this is Devi going
Manny.
through, some emotional and hormonal changes. She's just trying to be a hot chick and she needs Kamala's boots to do it. Kamala's the hottest chick she knows. But Kamala can't be bothered because she's watching Riverdale again.
Yes.
And Riverdale's inspiring her to kind of like stand up and fight for the guy she wants to be with as opposed to the guy she's arranged to be married to.
Yes, like she sees Betty pushing back to her mom. She's like, I love Jughead, which is also so weird. But anyway, so that's like Kamala's story in the moment. And now we're at the party. I feel like we're made it. Our girl knocks on the door and Trent says, "Why are you here? What?
Did you come to get your calculator? Did you come to get a calculator or something?" Like
that's
he legit
so
asked
mean.
her that. Right. Like, first of all, Davey does not need to go to Paxton Hall Yoshida's house or Trent's house to get a calculator. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
This is not the place where she would need to go to get a calculator. Stop it.
Do you even own a T85, T95, whatever?
Yes, us two famously math geniuses are telling you about calculator usage.
Obviously.
Right. But they hand her a beer and invite her on in. Paxton's like, come on in, Davey.
Yeah,
so
Paxton,
she's feeling good. Yeah. She's getting mixed signals here. What do you think?
100%. I think people are like this. I have definitely been in that spot where people that are naturally flirty really screw you because you're just like, what's up? Do you like me? Are you just naturally flirty? So I believe Paxton's just a naturally flirty person and he's like intrigued by Devi because she's so weird and she's nothing like his circle. So I think he's just like, what's going on with this person? So to me, it's more intrigue, and being a naturally flirty person is giving her V mixed signals. And I think it's gross.
Yeah. He's more like, he knows it works for him. So I don't know if it's natural, but it's like his fallback. Like if I smile and I kind of look over and I kind of, bat my eyelashes a little bit, like it'll work on her. And it's just kind of how he manages all his relationships, kind of just like let me be cute all the time. And so I think with Davy, she's not prepared for that. She's like, oh, he's being cute toward me. I'm not used to him even noticing who I am. She's known him her whole life. Like he's been like in school basically with her forever. So this is now just aimed at her. And because she likes him, she's taking it so personally, like, oh no, he likes me too. It's like, no, he's just like this with everybody.
Yeah, girls, look around. Like, see how he's acting with other women. Is it the same? Because then you're not special. Because I definitely almost got caught up, I will say, but then I had to just do a quick look around and I was like, got it. It's not me. I'm not special. It's okay. And then you invite your person that you've been leading on. Instead.
Yeah, of course. Because everyone has been leading someone on. Trust me.
It's sick. It's a sick cycle. Oh my God.
Bad.
And then, of course, no party is good without pizza. So Ben is there with some za. Ben is apparently here because, and then I think Davey says, all right, can I get you some Gatorade? Because you seem thirsty.
Right.
Ben is with his girlfriend.
Yeah, but he showed up with 10 pizzas to a party he wasn't invited to, really. Like, he's a +1 to his girlfriend, who was like super cool. And so he's like, hey, you guys, I brought pizza. And nobody cares. So yeah,
nobody's staring at him.
Yeah, she thinks this is a perfect moment to like, okay, now I can get him because he's been in her neck for a long time. And so she's like, I got you now. Like, you came with your girlfriend. Y'all aren't even together. You just brought all these pizzas so people would like you. But Ben's not bothered. She's like, he's more like, look, while you're worried about me, Paxton's all over somebody else. So I thought y'all were dating. I thought this was a thing. I guess not.
And then she goes, she's only hot from the boobs down and neck up. I guess her neck's wrinkly.
Yeah.
I've been there. Neck. When you get caught up like that and you just you embarrassed, you gotta say something. And then it usually is very dumb. So I
Yeah.
feel for you, Davey. That was bad. So she
Well,
obviously chugs a beer after. Oh
mhm.
yeah, go ahead, Chappelle.
No, she took several beers. Let's be very
Yes.
clear. She starts with one beer that she already has in her hand, and I think she goes like before she hits the exit, she's on beer number 3. So she's stumbling out at the party. I don't know if alcohol takes its effect that quickly for teenage girls, maybe, but she is
I
like
mean, someone
drunk.
that's never drank before.
Yeah, she's
Ooh.
drunk within like minutes. And she just kind of stumbles out into the lawn where she sees the coyotes back.
Oh, why God? So of course the coyote shows up and there we go. Davy goes, I miss you so much, Dad. Like, are you here? She's so broken and hurt, unfortunately. And she's being very destructive. So, she's talking to the coyote. And then does she go to hug the coyote?
I don't know because the people in the background are like, "Hey, that's a coyote. Stay away from." She's like, "No, don't worry. It won't hurt me. It's
It's
my
my dad.
dad." And she goes, "Hey, Dad." And I think she does make a move toward the
Yeah.
coyote, and that's it. She gets attacked by the coyote, literally mauled at the party in front of everyone.
I've never been to a high school like party ever, so like I don't know, but like I cannot imagine you come back from this.
No,
Oh,
well, for one, because rabies shots and things of that nature, like
like
you have to go to the hospital. This is very embarrassing. And Sasha, again, this is not our high school years. Like there are camera phones around here. Like there are
you
videos of you getting attacked by a
imagine.
coyote. Yeah. And it's not like you were some innocent bystander who was attacked by a coyote. No, you're the drunk girl who went to go hug a coyote at the middle of a party. And so people are yelling. I think Trent yells like, "Hey, the coyote just ate one of the UN."
Are you dead?
Yeah, are you dead? This is bad. This is bad all around. But Paxton comes and saves her. So silver lining.
Yeah, and then it literally I will say Ben was also there. I don't know what Ben was trying to do, but Ben he sees like Paxton Carrier and he's like, and like, you can like tell he's a little gobsmacked. So, like I said, will they, won't they moment happening? I don't know, but like it's interesting, I will say, because I saw Ben in the background lurking.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden we're at the hospital and
Yeah.
Davy's talking to the UN saying, I should never gone to the kickback without you. Yeah, why would you go alone? I don't think I could ever have the
No.
courage.
Yeah, she doesn't seem like she does anything without them, but I think she can't bring them because, she lied to them and told them she's with Paxton.
That's
So,
true.
her friends are aggressive. They're going to be like, "Why isn't he talking to you?" Fabiola's over him. She's like, "He's keeping you on the side as a side piece. Why is he on this other girl? What is
That's
happening here?" So
true.
they couldn't invite them. Also, she really wasn't invited either. So, for her to bring people, isn't that the worst when someone who isn't invited to something shows up with other people? They're like, "Why are you here? Why are
Oh
they
my
here?" Like,
God.
I will deal with you, but why are they here? Like, that's a no
The
bueno.
worst is
Never
if
do
you
that.
don't like the people that they brought, and then you're
Yes.
like,
Oh man. Or if they show up and they're eating everything and drinking everything,
oh
like,
my
who are the
God.
randos in the kitchen? Get out of here.
And they'll always be probably the ones that start to fight or do
Hmm.
something, and then you're like, "Well, here goes the good times."
Yep.
That's true, but I don't think I could. I don't think I've ever been to a party alone. There's no way that would ever happen. That's
Yeah.
so
I
scary.
mean,
Even if I thought I knew people there, I would still not go alone.
it's just uncomfortable to show up by yourself anyway. Because what if you do? What if you don't know anybody there? Like, who do you talk to? And then like, of course, you're pressured at that point to talk to other people. And if they're not friendly, then you're stuck at the party, kind of just dancing in the corner by yourself. So it was a
Oh my
choice.
God. Yeah.
But her friends are very excited for her, regardless, because Paxton took her to the hospital. They're FaceTiming her, like, "Listen, at least you're with Paxton. Like, y'all can have hot
Yes.
Grey's Anatomy sex now in the closet, like standing
Which,
up."
first of all, Grey's Anatomy ruining lives since I don't know how long.
Woo, my
Um,
life ruined my life specifically. I have PTSD because of Grey's Anatomy, and I deserve compensation. Shonda Rhimes, I know you hear this.
yes. I have broken free from the shackles this season, I will
Yeah.
say. One too many deaths for me, where I was like,
Listen,
"Yeah, killing
not to
everyone I
spoil
like."
it, but like, th- that right? Like we ain't gonna say it, but
Yeah, we
man,
don't
come
want
on.
to spoil anything, but like, my
Nobody's
God,
exempt on that
bro.
show, man. Like
Yeah, it's
seriously, like
gross.
justice for Meredith Grey, because that is a cursed woman. She
Yes. Do not date
what?
Meredith Grey, first of all, because
No,
you're
stay
gonna
far away from her.
Something will happen to you. Just be away.
Yeah.
And maybe that's how they keep the like show going, because they're like, well, what should we do now? Let's give Meredith another tragedy.
Yeah.
Stupid. Anyway, so yeah, Grey's Anatomy sex not happening, obviously. Paxton shows up and says, everyone thinks you're dead. So let's take a selfie, and posted it on not his story, but an actual post.
Yes. On the grid. On
That's
the Insta
huge.
grid. Yeah. Well, first of all, she's already gone viral. The video of her getting attacked has gone viral. So honestly, as popular as Paxton is, this might be a little bit for clout as well. Like,
I didn't think of that.
Yeah, because he's like, no, put it on my grid because everyone's talking about her right now. So he thinks she's cool, and she got attacked by a coyote. So this is definitely a friend moment, but I don't think it's completely selfless. This isn't just like, hey, look at my cool friend who survived a coyote attack. Not from my perspective.
Chappelle decoding F-boys since 2021.
It takes one to know one. So I'm just saying, I've been there. Been there before in the past.
Chappelle!
Years and years ago. That's a different guy. I am a good guy.
Did you post on Instagram or Snapchat?
Snapchat, it disappears. Yeah. And if you screenshot it, I don't know. So
oh my God.
I have some Instagram horror stories, okay? I will not say it because I don't know who.
No.
Well, I guess, maybe next time. Next time I will share one of my Instagram horror stories.
Yes,
sure.
if we could do 100 reviews.
Oh man.
Yeah. Oh my God. But you have to tell me after the podcast. Anyway, so then, he's like, why a coyote though? What's going on, Davey? This is where I feel like Paxton is an F-boy, but like somewhere underneath there's a human being, because he like deals with this, and because to me, he should just let her go, right? But he's like, either he enjoys the attention or he's just so intrigued by her. Because she said, well, my dad. And then you probably think I'm crazy. And he's like, yeah, but in a good way.
Yeah. And look at them. Friends. They're friends. Friends can do this. Friends can tell their friends, hey, I'm having a moment. Just bear with me. And he says, cool, we're friends. And so we like this. Devi is making progress because, just a few episodes ago, he didn't even know who she was. And they had known each other their whole lives.
And now he's carrying her to the hospital, people.
Right.
There's, hope for all the nerdy Indian girls. You will get the hot guy.
Well, until Dr. Vishwa Kumar herself walks in. Melanie walks in and she is disgusted, okay? She calls Paxton a walking HPV infection.
She said, God damn it, Davey. And then poor Paxton, he's like, she's fine now, Dr. Vishwa Kumar. Like, it's okay. Oh, she's fine now? What are her vitals? What's a blood count? Tell me everything, you walking HPV infection. Get the hell out of here.
Man, eat him alive for no reason. He saved her life.
What? Not even a thank you?
Right. He saved her. I mean, don't get me wrong. It wasn't like she was on the brink of death, but she very well could have been, right? Had she not gotten to the hospital on time, we don't know what would have come from that. And
exactly.
So she's not grateful at all. She's too busy being mad that Devi was drunk. That's really what tipped the scales here. Like she pretends like she's caring.
Exactly.
Yeah, but she's pissed. She's pissed.
Because you really think they're about to have a moment. She's like hugging and she's like, oh, it could have been so bad. And then I was like, but it all happened because you were drunk. I've definitely gotten caught once, and not for alcohol even, but like, oh my God, my mom just stared like this. I thought I was going to die. I went to the movies with the boy, and I was not supposed to. And my mom wanted to go into the movie theater, but thankfully, and yell. But thankfully, like, I was saved by that, and she just waited outside like this.
Yep.
Just waiting for me. And she's like, who did you go to the movies with? Huh? Why wasn't I smart enough to be like, oh, let me go get my friend from inside and get a random girl?
Yeah.
Dumb teenager.
Dumb. But look, my little brother drunk dialed my mom one time. Yep.
Oh no.
I was mortified. I thought it was the worst thing ever. I was like, I don't know how you're gonna come back from this, but he's the little brother, so he got away with it. I was like, "Oh, you're so soft. I could never have gotten away with this. When did you get so
Oh
weak?"
my
She let him
god.
live. He's alive. I was like, I was not expecting that. I thought he was dead. I thought that was the end of him, but look at her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got drunk honestly on my 21st birthday for the first time, and I did drunk dial my mom, and she was like, "Alcoholism runs in the family. What's wrong with you?"
I think all families say that because I know my dad definitely like called me one time. I was like, alcoholism dies. I was like, hey, listen. I'm drunk. Don't call me with that no more. I have a headache. I'm
Yeah.
hungover right now. I know you're not calling me with that answer.
Oh my god.
My sister snitched on me. Instagram got me in trouble. I posted like my sister. I don't let people in my family like when I was in college for sure like follow me on Instagram because I was having a good time, right? And I'm always been wise in social media. I've always been wise to it. I'm like, hey, this is snitching. I can't allow this.
Yeah,
But for
I
some
never
reason,
posted anything.
I let my older sister in on my life, and I mean, I might have posted a picture of like me with a 40 or something,
Not
and
a
my dad.
Ford.
Well, it allegedly for 40. I maintained it was a paper bag, a brown paper bag. God knows what was in
Yes,
it. But
for sure.
I got the phone call from my dad the next day, and I was hungover, and he was just like alcoholism. So I was like, wait, what is happening here? What is happening? How do you know this? And I start going through the friends list trying to figure out who was the person. And then I saw my sister's name, and I was like, I can't believe I messed this up. It was a rookie
Snitches get
mistake.
stitches, man.
Man, and I got caught up. So yeah,
Oh
been caught
my
before.
god.
It's not great, but yeah, this is how Devi end up getting gets grounded into the day that her kids graduate.
Yes, which
Yeah.
yes, been there. And because Melanie said normal teenagers drop out and work at Jersey Mike's. You don't want to
Mhm.
be that person.
Yeah.
I worked at Subway one day, so yeah, I really don't want to be that person. And then and then we have our Riverdale moment, I feel like, because Kamala is at Steve's apartment, which this also very much was college to me, where I was like, I remember the outside apartment deep talks.
Uh-huh.
So I was very stressed, but she brings him cheesecake and she's like, you know what? I don't think I want to be friends anymore. And Steve was like, listen, because I can't do this, relationship or nothing. And she said, just like the plot of Betty and Jughead, I'm going to stand up to my family. And then he goes, stand up to your family? And she said, I'll pretend.
Yeah, I'm not really gonna do that. And that's why earlier when you said like don't be a side piece, I'm like, well, sometimes allowances can be made because Steve is like, look, Kamala says I can be a side piece. It's either side piece or no Kamala.
Would you be Kamala's side piece?
Yes.
Like, if she was like dating someone else, like
I would be like her like welcome mat into her house if she wanted me to. I just lay here and she could just walk on me. Like, are you kidding me? Like, what? She told Steve that, and I felt like, yes, Steve, yes, do whatever she wants. Like, listen, you can love yourself later on. Kamala needs you in this moment.
When it's like a family and that's why I can't claim you, that's so different than like I got a boyfriend and I can't claim you.
I mean, it's still bad though. It's still like you're never gonna be able to be with this person and be happy with them, and have a loving marriage with them the way you probably want. It's Kamala, so I know I would be like itching to be like, okay, can we get married now? Can we get married now? Can we get married now? But in the meantime, I'm like, Steve, I ain't mad at you. I
Steve is getting his comeuppance somehow, and you got Cheesecake Factory. So who's the real loser here, people?
Right, me. Because I'm not Steve.
And you're not getting Cheesecake Factory. Maybe Whataburger for you, I know. But
yes, you know it.
And then we end with the app ideas. Ben comes with a dumb weather app. I don't even know what that means.
It was a bomb forecast. It'll tell you what day the bombs are going to hit. Yeah.
If you knew, what would there be a war?
What are you going to do, though? Like, what do you, like, oh, okay, now I can go to the bunker because the bomb's coming. Like, what are you going to do? Like, oh, the bomb's coming. Well, I guess I can just be blown up. Like, I don't think knowing beforehand is going to help you.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's a very bizarre behavior. And then we do get bunker. They did add a little man in the logo, which Trent had said he didn't like, but whatever. And then the boys are presenting. What the hell? I was pissed about that also.
She gave them the script. You know the game. She did all the work. She told them which slides they have to present. They read them word for word. Doing this. Oh man, Sasha, you know fun. I'm definitely like
absolutely
you read slides. I'm like you read slides 1, 3, and 5, and you read this, that, and the other. I did all the work. and I will do the conclusion and the introduction. You just do what I say, and we're good. We'll get through this one. And so
No,
I
I'm
didn't.
a delegator. Do not get me wrong. I will be telling everyone what they will be speaking and how they will be saying it, but you will be doing the work. Like,
Yeah.
please. I actually got someone in trouble in college because I was like, we're
Mm-mm.
freaking in masters. Like, you should be able to do a PowerPoint
Oh my
or ask me
gosh.
for help. That's the thing. If you need help, I'm happy to help. Like, I will never in life like not help somebody, but like, don't lie and don't come up to the meeting and say, "Oh, I don't have my parts done."
Yeah, nah. See, I just don't leave room for error like that. I'm like, hey, I did it. It's cool. Like, if y'all don't want to do it, it's fine. This is not gonna kill me. I can do a PowerPoint with my eyes closed. I'll be okay. So I would have definitely assigned them their script. Y'all say these lines so y'all can get y'all grade, and then I'll be fine here. Because that's clearly what happens. But as they begin to celebrate Devi and her hard work, they call her the Coyote Girl. And they like hold her arms up in the air. They're like, Coyote Girl, woo! They're very excited to see that she's alive and that she's now a part of the group. She's a part of the team. She's friends with Paxton. What could go wrong here?
Who hugs her? Ooh.
Yeah, she's feeling it.
Yep.
They
And
even
then
ask if she's gonna transform into a werewolf.
yeah. And then Ben does a little Nancy Pelosi clap for them, so he's mad. And then we get an Eve ignoring Fab moment. Fabiola unfortunately breaks up with Alex.
Yeah.
But then he goes to Tiffany, who was at the locker, and so they seem to be fine. They're now Alex Gomez is fine. He's found another girl, and then Fab is in the room with Gears Brosnan, and she says, I am gay to the robot. And that is it, unfortunately.
Yeah, she gets a text from her mom, and her mom's like, hey, do you want to go shopping with Alex Gomez? And instead of responding back to her mom, I am gay, she programs it into Gears, and Gears says it for her. And I think this is the first time she's ever uttered the words or any semblance of that. And so we're making progress here with Fabiola. She's coming to terms with it, and I think she's gonna be okay.
Yes, and she is now like out to us, which I appreciate and thank God. And then that's kind of the end of it. But now, speaking of coming to terms with oneself, we're in episode 4, where the episode is Never Have I Ever Felt Super Indian. So that this episode is going to be in your face. It's gonna be loud. It's gonna be bright. It's gonna be everything that India and Indian stereotypes are. I feel like so. Before we even get into it, like, I have to know what you thought about this episode.
Okay, I love this episode because culturally, yeah, this is not something I have a lot of insight into. And so I'm like, oh, okay, cool. But there are still things that I can relate to in this episode. Of course, there's a moment where, Devi's trying to get just a cup of coffee and she's in her traditional garb. And the little kid walks up to her and is like, hey, are you Princess Jasmine?
Not a microaggression.
Right. But like the little kid, of course, doesn't know this. The little kid just thinks like, oh my God, you look like the most notable Indian person that I know, which happens to be a Disney cartoon.
And Jasmine is not even Indian. She's Arabic.
She's Arabic, right? And so she's like,
not all brown people look like stupid.
Oh my gosh, yes. And so like, yeah, she's like, this is the best I can do. Like Jasmine, and she's like, no.
Where's
so
Aladdin?
Right. And so I've been there where like all black people look alike. We get that all the time. And then later on we talk about the aunties, which is very much something that I can relate to as well as a black person. Is like, I got aunties and cousins that ain't related to me and I ain't never been related to me, and they will always have an input on my life. So I love that. But as far as like Ganesh Puja, I have no insight into this. So this was a fun walk through the life of, I guess, how it feels to feel so Indian, I guess.
Yeah, literally. I remember in college when I had to go to my meetings, and then right after that, I had to go to the cultural show that I was dancing in. So I had to show up to the meeting with my outfit on, and I'm literally like, my God, like, why do I have to do this? So, and yeah, I remember people staring at me, but not, again, in a mean way, but very much like, you look like someone that, what is going on? Like, tell me more about your outfit. Oh, I didn't realize you were Indian. And you're like, what does that mean?
Right.
Like, okay.
What does that mean? But the thing is that when you see people in like their cultural garb, a lot of times they just look stunning. It's like you walk into a room and you're like, oh my gosh, where like it demands attention. So on the one hand, it's like leave people alone, but on the other hand, it's like, I mean, look at you. You're amazing. So yeah, so I definitely have been in a situation where I've been like staring because I'm like more of in awe of like, oh my God, it's so like elaborate and like beautiful and like, oh, like what like you kind of want to know like what's going on. But I'm definitely more of a mind my own business type. But Sasha, you Ganesh Puja is a Hindu celebration, and this
Yeah.
is not something that you're familiar with either.
Yeah, exactly. I have no idea what it is. I mean, Ganesh is the main god of for Hindus, but again, they're polytheistic, so many gods, and you get like weird cuts of India, like for some reason. But Ganesh Puja is celebrated like all across India in different ways. So because I grew up in Mumbai, have seen it in a certain way, but not how it was depicted here necessarily. But the point is like you're celebrating Lord Ganesh, and his arrival to Earth,
Okay.
from his like home mountain, and with his mom who is a goddess as well, so and his dad is too, so he's like an incarnation of a god. But that's like the point of Ganesh Puja, and it's like really just celebrating a moment and like really like creating peace and all those good things in your life. So you obviously have to dress up when you do Indian things, and because you're maybe not living in Fremont, California, where every other person is probably also dressed up for this thing. You're in Sherman Oaks, where maybe there aren't a lot of Indians. I don't get it, but in Oklahoma, they definitely were not, and it was weird. So, they're dressed up. Everyone's going. Kamala is putting on her mini or half sari, is what they're called. Not the cutest outfit, I will say. I wish they like stepped it up a little, but they're South Indian, so South Indians and North Indians, like that's kind of how you can tell the difference. Where North Indians are very extra in like their outfits, whereas South Indians are very extra on the jewelry. Like they have a lot of gold and like all of that, but not the outfits not necessarily are like that. Like at my wedding, my mother-in-law definitely looked at me and was like, "That's a lot of makeup." And I was like, oh, I'm about to walk out. Like you can't say that.
Leave me alone, lady.
Yeah. I wore a sari for the first time at my wedding in India. So I never worn one before and I tripped. So, good on Devi. Like she's wearing a half sari, which is not actually a sari. It's just like draped that way. The bottom is still just a skirt, which I wear the crop top with the skirt only.
Okay.
Because I'm not an auntie, I feel. And my mom will make fun of me if I wear a sari, actually. So, and they play actually really good Bollywood songs when Devi's getting ready. They play Dum Maro Dum, which is, again, very sexual song. And it's like a bunch of hippies, like I think smoking weed. Like that's the vibe of this song. So I couldn't stop laughing that that's the song they decided to play while Devi's getting ready. And like she's really cool, like the flowers. You get those on the street in India. Like I used to have them all the time. Really fun. And then we, of course, have the coffee house microaggression with the Karen. I can't believe Devi took the picture. She shouldn't have taken the picture, by the way.
Well, they try to put it off on the child. They're like, she's just a little girl. She needs to no, take this moment to educate this child and let her know that it's just leave people alone. That if Devi doesn't want to be bothered, she don't need to be bothered. So yeah, Devi just kind of just passively is like, okay, fine. Because these people are clowning her for not wanting to just do this. Like they're calling her out. You've been on Twitter this whole time, like all this other stuff. And so it's. Yeah, I hated to watch this for her, but she rolls with the punches here. She's more annoyed than anything because she just doesn't feel comfortable in the sari just in general.
Exactly, which I understand. Like it's really hard to wear. I don't blame her. And then I also like the moment where the coffee guy brings her the hot chocolate that she wants to call a latte. Again, very me because I also only drink hot chocolate. And he said, yeah, I hate coffee.
I love coffee.
Yeah, I hate the smell even. And then he says, "Oh, is it Ramadan? Are you fasting?"
Just sometimes just leave people alone, or just ask the question. You don't have to don't make assumptions. Just ask a question like, "Hey, you look very nice. What's the occasion?" But like, you don't have to do this. You don't have to do this.
But apparently it's just like, mind your business, people. And then anyway, so we get, we're in the car, the only moments from the car, which I want to highlight is like, she has to wear the sari because she's coming of age now. And it's their first time going to Ganesh Puja without Mohan, which is, I know, really probably a very hard moment for them because the aunties be talking, okay?
Yeah.
And it's it's literally like a hotline where they'll be like, oh, are you doing this? Oh, and then it'll just, everyone will know. Like the gossip is fast.
Yeah. And yeah, that's what we see coming up in this episode is that they have two primary objectives here at this function. So at Ganesh, they want to like, okay, fine. We have to go deal with the aunties. And they're going to be in our business. And Nalini, she doesn't like that. Like, she's like, okay, this is going to be tough because he's died. And now people want to talk about it and they want to pity me. And they also want to one up me because this is very much what the aunties are here doing. They're trying to stunt on each other. But also Devi needs to go talk to Ron the counselor.
Yes.
Because Ron the counselor is married to an Indian woman who is at these functions. And he has like the plug to help you get into the college of your dreams. And so in order for Devi to get into Princeton, they have to go to this and they have to talk to Ron. And so that's kind of what their strategy is moving forward, at least throughout Ganesh Puja.
Yes. Also, we get a needless Jewish joke where she said Jewish people know how to save money, and that's why Ben's bar mitzvah was at the Dolby Theater. Why? Don't make these jokes. That's stupid. Because Devi's mad that the Hindu Association picked her high school to do it, which is again very normal. But apparently Indians go to Home Depot and buy fountains with their money.
Sasha, how do you feel? So on the one hand, well, how do you feel? On the one hand, this Indian woman is making Jewish jokes. And it is like, and then she's also being self-deprecating to Indians, but saying like things like, "Oh, Indian people are obsessed with fountains," and you're like in the middle of that, Sasha. God. Are you obsessed with fountains, and do you like these microaggressions toward Jewish people?
Oh my God, we do go to Home Depot a lot, but I said for gardening more than anything else. Like, would I like a fountain? I mean, who doesn't want a fountain in their damn backyard? That's what I want to know. But yeah, but I will say it's really funny because when I moved to the States and people were in Oklahoma were like, oh, you're Jewish, so you're rich, and then you're Indian, so you're smart. Negative on both. So, it's like I can't do math and I'm not smart. So like I really am maybe the worst kind of Indian Jew there is. But it's very weird, like these stereotypes, and like to me personally feels like a weird back and forth because you're like, don't make a Jewish joke. Oh wait, you're also making an Indian joke. It's like, where do I stand? It's too much. I'm like gonna implode. It's too much. But anyway, we somehow get to Ganesh Puja. It's very bright. I want to say I like everyone's outfits. They're not like Parvati and Padmini Patil's outfits from Harry Potter, which were abysmal and disgusting. Just awful, gross outfits. But instead, we're like vibrant. Of course, aunties show up. For anyone that doesn't know what aunties are, zero blood relations, like Chappell said, but have all the opinions on your life. Auntie said, I'm so glad you're no longer crippled. Auntie, what are you doing, dude?
What's happening?
Stop it. Oh, and then, they're now starting to stunt on each other. It's great. I didn't like the cancer moment either, where the auntie's like, oh, I feel you because my husband had cancer, testicular cancer, but now he's okay. I'm about to run a 10K.
Yeah, they have to out-pity her and shine her in every way. And poor Natalie, she's just stuck there. Like, she can't move. She's like, I have to be respectful to my elders. The aunties get this this leeway to just go and do these things and say these things, and you could just have to sit by and let it happen. Like I said, in the Black community, we definitely have those people as well, where it's like, oh, they're old, so they can say this, or we like, you got to be respectful. You can't speak up in these moments. You just have to take it. And so she's struggling with this throughout the entire episode.
And aunties be dragging, they really be dragging. Because even for me, when my family just went to Hawaii and someone asked my mom if I was pregnant, and I was like, just tell them I'm fat. You can say it. Like, what the hell?
Yes.
It's weird. Aunties have no filter. Someone called me and was like, oh, your face is getting chubby. Yes. Quarantine, man. Okay. Quarantine.
Thank you. Leave me alone. Yeah. Yeah, and Nalini tries to she even gets in on it though. Like she's starts oh look, Kamala is she's a doctor.
She's face in the hole, right? That's what you got. I got a Kamala here.
She's gorgeous. She's a doctor. She's about to get married. Like, boom, drop the Kamala card on them, and they don't have anything for that. But Kamala
Nope.
is miserable because she does not want to get married.
Poor girl. Kamala, get out, please. And then we got a little dance break, like every Bollywood sequence does. This is another like really famous song. I mean, it came out a few years ago. It's a really beautiful video. Would recommend y'all to watch it. But anyway, it's like really powerful movie also. It's like the Indian Romeo and Juliet. And anyway, so Devi's obviously like, that ain't me. Why are they dancing like this? And they're dancing in Indian clothes, which is pretty hard to do, I will say, as someone that has tripped many times dancing. And, you know, so she tries to talk to this other Indian girl by her to say, oh, how weird is this? And that's the troop leader's sister.
Mm-hmm.
So
She's
the
like,
troop...
she's not cool with this. She's like, hey, chill out on my sister, man. Like, she was in they were in the Macy's Day Parade. Like, this is a big deal. I'm sorry that you're a hater. Just because you don't like being Indian don't mean that the rest of us are, you know, self-loathing Indians at least. And so Devi's struggling here because she's looking for somebody who's not Indian, you know, just regular Indian like
American is what she's looking for. But these people are Indian.
Indian.
Yeah. It's hard. I get it, because then, speaking of, you know, feeling like this weird, trying to find an Indian American, she meets her friend Harish, who, you know, is also hanging out. She's very surprised that he's there, because shouldn't he be at Stanford? Which I would say is also pretty Indian. And they do like a festival of color thing. So Stanford's like fascinating. But anyway, but he said no, I wanted to come. And Devi, being Devi, just comes up with all. Do you have mental breakdown? Is it like all these crazy reasons? And he's like, calm down. I just want to be here. And he had a roommate that was Native American that, you know, really like embraced his culture and community, and he's like, why should I be embarrassed? Like, I don't want to be that person.
Yeah. And I think that's probably like true to a lot of people, right? They're in their little bubble when you're in high school, when you're younger, you don't really see a lot of different cultures and stuff. Then you meet somebody who really is engulfed in their culture, and you're like, yeah, I have one of those too. You know, like as a black person, it's really hard sometimes because like a lot of us are descendants of slavery. So I couldn't tell you what country in Africa my people are from. Like I did ancestry.com, and it's like, okay, you're from this one. It's like, okay, thanks. Like now what do I do? Do I just go and be like, hey, you guys, it's me? Like I don't know anything about my lineage. And so then it's like when I meet like, you know, people who are like, you know, direct descendants from Africa, you know, where like first generation Africans, I'm like, oh my gosh, tell me all about it. You know, I want to know because like, I've never had a chance to do this kind of thing. And so I think that's what Harish is going through. He's like, I've been neglecting my own culture. You know, I very much had the chance to appreciate Ganesh Puja. And now he's like, okay, well, now that I'm older, let's do it. And Devi just can't wrap her mind around this one. She's still like, no, this is not what's supposed to happen. I'm supposed to go away, become an atheist, marry a white boy. Like she has plans and dreams, and this is not part of it.
Yeah, and it's really hard. Like I will say, when I first moved here to Oklahoma, like even bringing lunch was such an ordeal, because I was like, Mom, like please, you know, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, like that's what the Americans eat. Like don't be packing, you know, this like amazing, healthy, tasty meal. Like I was like, don't do that, because like I don't want it smelling. Because definitely people have like been like, oh, curry, you know, like no one would, I think, dare say anything to me, because I wasn't about to take anyone. Like no one's gonna bully me. But I also was like, I don't want to stand out, bro. Like already got an accent. It's too much. So I remember that feeling, and I remember when like the popular boys who happen to be white didn't like you, and you're just like, oh, you know, what's going on here? So I know that like feeling. And then I think once I got to college and had like majority Indian friends, I was in a South Asian sorority, like it really changes how you learn to embrace it. And you're like, yeah, I'm going to wear my outfit and it's going to be beautiful. I'm going to listen to Bollywood music. And like, turns out everyone around you likes it too.
Yeah.
So
look,
it's hard.
Look, when I first had Indian food, you couldn't tell me nothing. Okay, I was at Seychelles, like off the coast of Africa, and and I was just eating everything, and I was like,
Indians there.
Listen, okay, I got there because it's not far from India, and so I'm like, okay, got there, and I'm like, wait a minute, this biryani, Y'all, wait a minute. Biryani is that's the business. I'll fight over some
Yeah.
biryani. Okay, so with that one. So I don't understand. Like, I don't care. You think it smells or whatever. Listen, I will fight for biryani
It
any
smells
day
like
of the week.
flavor stupid is what it
It's
smells like.
seasoned. What are you talking
Thank
about? This is
you.
good food, man.
Y'all over here
Yeah.
with salt and pepper calling it seasoning. Wrong.
You call it spicy.
Yeah. Oh my God. Someone told me I was cooking for a bunch of Ashkenazi or white Jews. And yeah,
Mhm.
and I was like, I don't know how to cook chicken that isn't Indian style. Like, I don't like what's a roast chicken without like 10 spices. So I put a lot of pepper because I was like, how else are you gonna eat it? People are like, this is spicy. I was
Spicy.
like,
No, this is what
please,
I
you have
need.
to
Listen,
stop.
give me some chicken samosas or like some vegetable samosas, even just but
Yeah.
like season them. Oh man, I listen. That's my
Make
heart.
me come
Okay.
to the Bay Area. Just
Yes,
wait, Chappelle.
Sasha. I'm about to make the trip. You speaking my language
I
because
got you. There's food
me
trucks here, like that are like, but they're like outrageously spicy. But there's food trucks. They have just biryani spots. Like
yes.
you name it.
Nah.
It's India here. Trust
Look,
me.
Karen from Canada. I'm sure she's listening to this. She and I we will talk about Indian food in our DMs all the time. Like,
Yes.
she shows me what she makes. Like, so yeah. Hopefully one day we can get her to guest on the podcast or something.
Yes, please. Oh my God. But yeah, and then we got a moment of an auntie talking about, hey, you need to spread Mohan's ashes because my mom was a gambling addict and I spread her ashes at the Bellagio fountain.
Okay.
Don't do that, people.
Drake did a concert there, so maybe that means
Okay, then spread my ashes with Drake.
Sasha, like, well, look, you didn't say Drake was there. That's
Yeah.
different.
Just
Yeah.
kidding. Jews don't burn bodies. We'll be buried, so you can remember me for the rest of your life. And then, but yeah, it's like really interesting because apparently a soul can't get into heaven if you don't let go, which is really sad. And a really like a moment, I think, for Nalini. Like, give her a damn break. Like, why isn't she finding someone cool? Like, why doesn't she have friends here?
Yeah, this is tough, and like, not to jump too far ahead, but we'll see this.
Yeah.
This kind of manifests itself later on in the series as well, where it's like she's just here by herself. It's just her and Kamala and her wild child, and so yeah, the aunties they're getting to her a little bit.
Yeah. And then again, another really cool song, Mehndi Laga Ke Rakhna comes on with the pundit. And I will say this is the 90s song. Okay. Like my husband, I made him walk out in our like pre-wedding thing to this song. Like this is the song. And the actor is Bay. So I was just like, oh my God, play the song some more. Anyway, so yeah, so we're having the puja. The Pandit like says some really complicated prayer in Sanskrit. And I like knew the words to it because again, when you grow up in India, you just know all this. But then he's like, just kidding. Like, we're not gonna do this. Oh, and then we forgot Ron. Oops.
Well, no, so Devi's still looking for Ron at this moment. So
Devi's still looking for Ron. Sorry. And then, but yeah, so then they're doing all these pujas, and then, Devi's finding it really hard to focus because why haven't you found Ron yet, bro? How hard is it to find a white man in a group of 500 Indians?
Yeah, she has to pray. They're all praying, and praying is always hard for her. Praying is hard for me too because I have a short attention span. So but I like to pray. I love praying. I like talking to God. Like that's my thing. But like Devi is like, I get distracted. She normally prays for acceptance into schools or boobs. She prays for Paxton sometimes. And sometimes she prays for her mom, just telling her that she's proud. Like that's what she wants more than anything. But now, because of Mohan's death, she can't stop praying about her dad. Like she just wants more time with Mohan, and it's very sad.
Yeah, it's like so awful because it's not even like, what is she like? You can't rewind time ever. So it's just death is so permanent and it's truly awful. Kamala wishes for Prashant to find someone in Chicago and he would break the engagement. But the Pandit, when they're getting the prasad, which is like the blessed like food, they get it and they're eating it, and then Pandit says, "You don't wish to get married?" How did
Called
this
her
man
out.
know?
Look, Sasha, there have been plenty of times where I've been in church and it sounded like the pastor was talking to me, but this was creepy. You know, like he looked right at her and like I heard you praying, almost like she said it under her breath. Because there have been sermons that I've sat in where like the pastor, like I felt like my mom called ahead and told the pastor what was going on at
Oh
school.
my
It's like
God.
respect your mama, honor your mother and your father, and I'm like, I think she just said that to me in the car. Like, is this a coincidence or did she call in a favor here? And so I thought this could have been that, but no, he hits the nail on the head. He knows that
Yeah.
she wants out of this.
She's like, what should we do? What should we do? Oh, it's just poor Kamala. Like, you get a moment. It's okay. And then that's kind of done. So Davy's kind of walking around school. We get another auntie moment, to say like, why are you taking care of yourself? They would be mad if she let herself go, and they're mad that she's dyeing her hair. Like, shut up, aunties.
Yeah.
How about you mind your own business and your sad life? But we proud of Nalini because she's like, yeah, I'm not gonna let myself go, and she's young. Like, why should she? Not that older. Sorry, everyone deserves happiness and should take care of themselves, but especially Nalini. She should find a man.
Yeah. If she wants one, she should be able to get it. And if she wants to dye her hair, she should. Like the auntie's just in her business as usual.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so while that's going on, Davey has now located college counselor Ron, and his stats are amazing. Davey has done the research on him. He found out that he's gotten 28 students into Ivy League schools, and the 2 that didn't go to Ivy League schools got into MIT. And so those were his like 2 disappointments. But so this man is speaking Davey's language because she's all about the transcript, all about getting into her Princeton. And she's telling him like, hey, I've done all the things. I'm doing the community service. I have the grades. I did the extracurriculars. Like, you name it, I've done it. This school is going to love me. And he says, no, because this try hard overachieving Indian woman thing you're doing is played out. And schools don't want that. They've seen a million of those. You need to be more interesting.
God, it's so unfortunate because it's true. This is where affirmative action, it's needed. I want to make that clear, but also like, yeah, not hurts, but like works against Asians, I will say, because we are disproportionately represented, like highly represented in schools. So that's why I understand what he's saying, because there's so many of us. Like, we are not any special moment. And again, like Indian, Asian, it doesn't matter. Like, our parents really push us for college. And this is where my mom and I actually have this conversation all the time. And my mom said, well, if you were dumb, like, I would never push you for college. Like, trade school would have been just fine. And it's really sad, on the other hand, that colleges require like a pain Olympics. And for you to like be like, here is all my sadness. Because that's what Ron says, where he says, here's my sadness. That's, didn't your dad die? And like, kind of boils it down to one sentence and says, that's you're in, and that's how you're going to get in. And I'll get you in anywhere you want. If you, put your pain on display, which is really gross.
Yeah, and it's basically telling like, Davey, you're not that special, but the one special thing about you is this horrible tragedy, and Davey is not having it. She's like, no. The thing that makes me special is not about my dad dying. It's about my bitchin' personality and my test scores and my PowerPoint skills. Like, she's like, I don't need no old washed up white dude who leases a Tesla to tell me that I'm not special.
Okay. I didn't even know you could lease Teslas, by the way, but
listen, like you said, it's still a financial commitment, you know?
Useless. So she drags him to hell and back, as he deserves, because I don't appreciate you, Ron. Just because you added Bhattacharya to your last name don't mean nothing. All right, sir. So Devi thankfully uses her anger for good. And then, we see a moment where she's so pissed, but it's okay because now they're about to start eating. Every Indian association moment has this, where it's time to eat. It's a little buffet. Food is gonna be bomb because it was made by the aunties. So you're about to start eating, and then there's one table that's open, but the pariah is sitting there.
Ooh, yeah. You can't sit with her because she basically has disgraced her entire family, because she went and married an American man. Okay, she was in an arranged marriage, an American Muslim man, and her parents never spoke to her again. They didn't come to the wedding. They were not supportive. They've not spoken to her. Sounds like she ends up having kids with him and everything, gets a
Yeah, and then
divorce.
divorced. Ooh.
Yeah. So now completely hands off. She's sitting by herself, and Nalini doesn't even allow Kamala to go sit with her. Like, no, no, no. We're already close enough to being outcast as it is. Like, even just being like looking at her that long and knowing that Mohan Jazai, like, we have enough going against us. We're not sitting with her.
Yeah, I wasn't very disappointed in Nalini. Like season 1 Nalini like is very cranky and I think it makes sense, like she's just lost her husband, all of that, but like she's very frustrating to me. Like she's constantly like nagging and like and really gets caught up in this like behavior. I just want to say you're in America and like these not these immigrants, but I've seen a lot of Indian immigrants like really stick to like their mentality of what it was in India, and like it doesn't work here, and you can't possibly make everyone fit that. Like you're not like trying to bring India here. You're here now, and you have to figure out a way to like live your life.
Yeah, and Cranky Nalini yells at Devi because she finds out that Devi
So
goes after Ron. So yeah, she's so disappointed in her. So Devi's storming out. Like everything that can go wrong is going wrong here, right? Because we just found out that Devi's thing is that she really wants her mom to be proud of her, and she's like, I'm disappointed in you. But Nalini, in her defense, she's in a blender right now. Like the auntie's got her head spinning, and she really doesn't know. She doesn't know which way is up. And so, after her and Kamala had that conversation, they end up leaving the lunch area, but Kamala left her phone. And so the pariah, whose name I do not remember,
I
honestly.
don't think they gave the name.
Yeah, they might have just called her pariah, which is horrible.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, yeah, anyway, she comes and she finds Kamala. She's like, hey, I saw y'all avoiding me, but I also found your phone. Do you want to just go hang out away from like the judgy aunties? And they're like, okay, fine. And that's when she reveals that, she doesn't have any friends in this community. She's basically like the Scarlet Letter. She's Hester Prynne. Her closest friend now is Kamala. She just met her, and she can't even explain her family lineage to her kids because her parents don't want anything to do with them. So she can't even talk about their grandparents. This is tough to watch.
Yeah, this is just, and again, there's a lot of stories like this. Unfortunately, it's like, do better. Like, why are we letting out? Like letting not even just women, but like, why are we letting people out of our community just because of who they love? Like, what does it matter? It's love as long as they're happy. And guess what? Maybe they get divorced. That's why be with someone that doesn't make you happy. And maybe they did make you happy in a moment and they don't anymore. And that's normal too. It's just there's so much pressure around like marriage and being together and like it being your soulmate, and you're like, no, it's like, stop, chill out. Like maybe sometimes it works, and then when you have children, things change. Who knows? I don't know. So it's really unfortunate, and it's very frustrating for me to watch because it seems like Kamala's advice is like, oh, maybe your siblings can like become a stripper or something, and and then she said, no, both my brothers are neurosurgeons who had a double arranged marriage with millionaire Hindu girls. And it's like, oh my God, it's like you just can't catch a break ever.
It's always competition. It's always competition, and it's so bad because like it's not only just competitive, but you get shamed if you're not winning, right? Like it was bad enough that you're not winning, but you also like are becoming like black sheep of the family in a way. So it's not great. And so this, of course, has Kamala really questioning what she wants to do with Steve because you're like, look, I can't be in this situation. Like the world being completely against me and people calling me a pariah, not even wanting to sit by me, and my family not being involved. Like, I don't know if that's worth it. So she's kind of just left out with her thoughts in this moment. This is a tough day for everybody.
Yeah. And the lady does say like she should stick with her like arranged marriage situation and like do what you love, or sorry, not do what you love, do what your family loves. So it's again a really jarring moment, but here we are. And then we get to see Devi just kicking the mess out of this locker because she's mad, but I feel like this is productive, better than what she used to do. So I want to give our girl credit. I feel like
no, don't do this. This is the same as her throwing the book out of the window. Like this is the Devi
metal. the
Right,
door.
but she's destroying school property. Like, make no mistake, Davy's got a leg on her. She's putting dents into this locker. Davy just has to find more productive ways to and healthy ways to deal with her stress and her anger because she catches Paxton's attention. She explains to him the whole her traditions, and she's basically just kind of rambling because she gets nervous around
Yeah.
him. Yeah,
And it's
and
really sweet because she says it's a weird Indian thing. And he's like, what's weird? Like, this is who
right.
you are. I think it, looks really good on you.
Mm.
But I like that, he asked her, why are you angry? And she says, well, I'm either not Indian enough or I'm too Indian. Like, there's no in the middle for her. And of course, this damn teenage boy. So he says, well, I think you look cool in your Indian outfit.
Yeah, and
That's
that's it.
it.
That's good enough for her. She's
Yep.
grinning from ear to
She's
ear.
back.
David,
We're
that's
back.
it. Yeah, that's all she look. The things she prays about, right? She wants her mom to be proud of her. She didn't get that this time, but she does want Paxton, and so this works. And this is good enough for her for the time being. Nalini comes and checks on Kamala in the meantime, just to get away from the aunties.
Yeah.
And Kamala runs off to find Devi because the aunties pull back up. So it's a lot of that going on, a lot of running from the pressures of society within her community. And luckily, what is it, Pandit Raj?
Yeah.
He's like, hey, anybody want to give me a ride to Home Depot? Which brings us full circle to our fountain conversation from the beginning.
Exactly. Which I also thought was really funny, because is that a thing where, whoever gives the pastor a ride or something, do they get special favors?
No, I wouldn't say special favors, but if you're in a devout Baptist home, especially in a smaller church, oh my God, the pastor was over at our home the other day. It's very much oh, we talk to pastor, we're the apple of his eye in a way, and you go out of your way to speak to them on Sunday, oh, hey, remember when you came over, you and your wife were so nice, so it very much looked like he wouldn't hang out with you if you were not a sinner. Oh my God. So look at me, right, look at me. We must be holding a wholesome Christian household. The pastor came here. So I think there's a little bit of stunting in that too.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. That's exactly what this was too. They're like, Pandit wants to ride with me.
Yeah. Bye, aunties.
Exactly. And the aunties are like, okay. And then, in the car, Devi has some gall. Because she said, I like the puja. The incense smelled like cannabis.
Right.
Devi,
they don't pay her no mind. They're like, Davy just does these things. He says these things. But Pandit is he's not slow. He's caught on. He's like, something's wrong. This family, they're kind of in disarray. They're in a bad mood. So when they finally get to Home Depot, he says some very kind words. He says, though there is pain, the pain will subside because you are a good family and God will always see that. I think he says a prayer in Sanskrit as well. And then, he sends them off on their way. He even tells Davy that he's going to talk to God personally about her admission to Princeton. So,
which is so sweet.
Yeah. So this is the benefit of having the religious figures in your car. You might get an extra prayer too. Like I said, there's a little clout that comes with it, but you never know. They might talk to God for you too.
Period. And listen, check out coolhindu.com. Apparently, that's where all his stuff is. Oh, it's a real website. I just looked it up. That's
okay.
Hilarious.
What do we see on there? What
it's
do we
just
have?
a pundit winking at you.
So there's no product?
No, it's just this winking.
Oh man. That's wild.
Anyway, that was really funny. I like the commitment of this show. And then, the pundit says, I love your car also. Thank you. And go Lakers. And that's the end.
The end. And that's episodes 3 and 4.
Oh my God. This was a shorter one, of course, but that's because I think episode 4 was really just culture vomiting everywhere. So anything else, Chappell?
No, I really enjoyed these 2 episodes. I think for me, of course, the one with the coyote is definitely a pivotal episode because you see that Devi is starting to, she's not in a good place right now, but I love seeing the cultural side of everything. And that's the fun thing of watching shows that tell diverse stories as well as have diverse cast, because you don't get this kind of stuff in other shows that are not centered around brown and people of color. And so, the reason why you watch stuff like this is so you can get this kind of content. So I'm glad that we got to talk about it. And I'm glad that you got to give, your experience as well. Because even though you're not Hindu, still Indian. And so a lot of it was very close to home for you.
Period. Yeah, an amazing 2 episodes again. I'm so excited for the next two. I definitely end up like watching the next episode because I was like, I just love this damn show so much. So I'm excited for what's coming next. I will say. And with that, Chappelle, where can people find you?
People can find me on Twitter at Chappelle's_show. Thank you for putting that up there. Yeah, and you can follow me. And like, if you want to tweet me about Never Have I Ever, I love to talk about it. As you can tell, me
Yes.
and Sasha will talk about it with anyone all the time. And so, of course, you can find me on the Rob Has a Podcast Network weekly, talking about reality TV, specifically the RHAP Rewind, where Rob and I revisit like shows from the early 2000s. And I think most recently we talked about Cribs with Asia Welch and Jason Reed as well. And so, every week I'll be there until Rob tells me I can't. So, yeah, that's where you can find me. And what
As
about you,
if
Sasha?
Rob will ever say no. You
Stop
can
it.
you can find me on Twitter at funsize_04, where very similarly I'm tweeting all my thoughts about reality TV. You can also find me on the reality wrap up with Mari. Actually, she was my newest guest for Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. It was a wild time. Honestly, it was just us really talking about our like high school concert experiences and all the wild things we were doing for hip hop celebrities then. So just check it out. It's like, again, you don't need to watch the show. Chappelle, I don't think even watched the episodes, but was tweeting along. So it's just a fun time. So go check it out. It's messy. It's fun. And of course, here on Silent Podcast, I cover Survivor South Africa, and we will be covering the challenge this week, hopefully. So that'll be up for us too. And with that, make sure if you want to send us some feedback, you do so at silentpodcastsfeedback@gmail.com. Send us your cringe stories. Check us out on Spotify and Apple. I was like, where are we again?
Yeah.
And of course, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share this video, or leave us some reviews. Chappelle gave us some good incentives. So I feel like we really need to get those 10 for sure. And make sure you're following us everywhere for more content, reality TV, scripted, anime, you name it, we got it. With that, thank you, everyone. Bye.